Welcome to Watch, Review, Repeat. This is the podcast where two best friends discuss the latest in film and television and then do it all over again the following episode. My name is Colton Brown. Joining me, Andrew Meadows.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
We are reporting live.
Is it Sunday night? Is it time for the 94th Academy Awards? Is that what's happening on this episode?
It could be what's happening or what's happened.
Or what's happened. Yes, indeed. Yes, it's a couple days past the Oscars, but we have something special, I think, on tap for our listeners. We're going to do something that we've never done before. We're going to have a whole ass episode talking about the Oscars, the Academy Awards, and we're going to have fun with it, I hope.
Absolutely.
So, 94th Academy Awards. We're not going to do it alone. We're not going to do it alone. We need some help with this because, Andrew, I know you haven't seen everything at the Academy Awards, so we're gonna have someone come in. And who else could help us? Who else could help us but our correspondent, our red carpet correspondent, Anna?
Reported live. We took our Disney dollars and we hired a consultant and sent them live to the red carpet. And Anna Mattis.
Anna Mattis is here with us on the red carpet.
We're going live to our correspondent out on the red carpet, Anna Mattis. What's the atmosphere out there like tonight?
Well, this is the calm before the storm, apparently. And unlike actual red carpet correspondents, I have watched the movies, so I wouldn't have to fake the interviews.
What are you talking about?
Tell people how great their performance was.
Josh Brolin, I loved you as Thanos in that one movie.
Oh, God. And then when that same correspondent was like, oh, my God, Coda made me want to learn ASL. And they're looking at him like, oh, my God, we're not a hobby. We're like an identity, you fucking idiot. And then my favorite was the correspondent who didn't know who Rita Moreno was. She did not know who she was. It was painful.
Terrible
to watch, but as is my custom, I did watch the red carpet, which I have done for a long time, and I want to say, look up what year the Reader won, because whatever year the Reader won, that was the first year that I watched. I believe that's the first year I watched all the nominees, or that was the year that like inspired me to start watching them.
It's a 2008 film, 2008. The Reader.
What else was nominated for Best Picture that year?
This is when it was still 5.
Yes.
Slumdog Millionaire was the winner.
Mm-hmm.
Also nominated The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Frost Nixon, Milk, and then finally The Reader.
Yes, this was indeed.
Wow, what a year.
This was indeed the first year that I watched all the nominees, and it's because I saw Frost Nixon in theaters. It was my first R-rated movie in theaters.
Wow.
And then I wanted to watch the rest of them, and I did. Not in theaters, because I definitely was not allowed to watch them, but I just did anyway, through other means.
Our parents aren't listening. It's fine.
I know what that's like.
That's true, they aren't. Although I told them later, I'm like, I know how to use the internet, right?
We're going to see Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Really, we're seeing Inglourious Basterds.
Andrew was notorious for this sort of behavior. This is true. My parents enabled it, and they probably are listening, so you could thank them for that.
Yeah, I mean, your parents, I don't know if they ever censored what your brothers watched, but by the time you rolled around, they're like, if we don't let you, your brothers are going to show it to you anyway.
It's true. I mean, yes. Yeah, there was that was the third brother, whatever.
We don't give a shit now.
We've done it enough. He'll be fine. I think I turned out fine.
You're all right.
So yeah.
So
anyway, the Academy Awards. Oh, well, let me first say this is a very, very exciting moment for me because this is the first time that I'm using one of my new toys from Christmas. We are each using our own microphone. Anna and myself are recording in the same room. This is a thing that Andrew and I have accomplished many times down in Florida, but it's a first up here in Philadelphia. So Philadelphia, as it's sometimes known. And so it's very exciting to
have our own mics and not
be
have to
able
swing them back and forth.
Yeah.
And we can talk over each other. Isn't this awesome?
We can talk over each other. It's going to be really natural. It's like we're in the same room because we are. But yes, I won't have to edit the mic swinging back and forth all the time. And I won't have to bite my tongue when I'm like, I got to say something.
You don't have to do the weird hand signals. Like,
yeah, usually we motion each other like, put me in, coach. Put me in. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Now, the Academy Awards. You said something about watching all the movies. That's like what's everyone's game plan for watching the Oscars? Andrew's is I'm probably not going to watch the Oscars. I'll read who won later on. For Anna and myself, it's more of an event. But
a funny story. We were all hyped up to watch American Idol, and like, where the fuck's American Idol? Oh, the goddamn Oscars on.
Okay.
So I put it on and I watched. It was good. By the time I turned it on, it was cinematography. And I was like, it's fucking Dune. It's going to be Dune. And it was Dune. And then it was sound. It's fucking Dune. It's going to be Dune. And it was, lo and behold, it was Dune.
Well, there were like 4 or 5 of those that they presented beforehand, and they like interspersed the video of them throughout the broadcast. But we had seen like the press release or like Twitter or whatever of who had won, and it was really funny because I think all but one of those pre-show awards went to Dune. And so it was irritating because it was like we're missing all these great moments for Dune because obviously they're not nominated for directing or acting categories. And
bizarre.
It's just a stupid choice, but
we'll talk about it. Yeah. So I what did I end up watching on Sunday? I think I watched 2 or 3 2 or 3 winning categories or whatever, and then I can't remember exactly what I did, but it was not the Oscars. I watched something else.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's
we watched Euphoria. Is what we watched.
Well, okay, that's a good use of time, right?
We were on the finale for season 1.
Oh, for season 1. Oh, okay. You're in for it.
So, Anna, what was our process for getting ready for the Academy Awards?
So my usual process is I like to watch everything, at the very least, everything in Best Picture, everything in direction, and everything in writing. So for both adapted and original screenplay. And then usually by doing those, I end up with like all of cinematography.
There's overlaps.
Right. And for a long time, I would try to do all of the acting categories. And I kind of gave up on that. I want to say it was like, 2 years ago when Willem Dafoe was nominated for the Van Gogh movie, because I heard that movie was absolute shit. And I had no interest in watching it. And I'm like, he's not going to win. I'm not going to watch it. 'Cause it just feels like a lot of times there's like people thrown into the acting categories where it feels more like a lifetime achievement and not like that the movie was actually good. So we really were focused, I feel like, on the Best Picture nominees. And of course, like half of them we had seen, or I'm sorry, I'm counting. I guess a third of them we had already seen because we wanted to watch them before Colton decided on his top movies of the year. So we had already seen Don't Look Up.
I think half is right because it was a 10 full 10 this year for Best Picture. We'd already seen Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Dune, and Nightmare Alley at that point.
Yes.
And Power of the Dog.
I was forgetting that we had also already seen Belfast. I was thinking it was just Dune, Nightmare Alley, Power of the Dog, and Don't Look Up.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I guess we had because we watched Belfast with my parents before we watched Coda with them. Was that the same weekend?
I don't remember. Honestly.
I don't either.
No, I think we watched Belfast the time before that, and then Coda the more recent visit.
Coda in February.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we basically wanted to make sure we watched all the Best Picture, and so we had watched half of them before you guys did or 4 of them, whatever, or Yeah, 4 of them by the time you guys did your best of episode. And we're like, oh, well, now we've got time. We've got like 5 weeks before the Oscars are on. We got plenty of time. And then like a week ago, we were like, shit.
We took stock. We took stock of where we were at.
Shit,
We're like,
we have a lot of movies to watch.
All right, well,
and
we got through a lot.
we did get through.
We got through
a lot.
6.
Yes.
We finished all the Best Picture nominees, and then there were a couple other stragglers as well.
We also watched Being the Ricardos, and we watched The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Yep.
And of course, like we'd already seen 4 out of 5 of the animated as well.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there was something else nominated that we had seen. And now I'm gonna
Power of the Dog.
Oh, we'd seen Cruella, which was nominated for costume design.
Yep.
And we
What the fuck was
seen,
Cruella? What was that nominated for?
costume design, which it won for.
And also
Sorry,
won.
spoilers. And also makeup and hairstyling. And we also saw House of Gucci.
Yeah.
That obviously deserves the award. That or Last Night with makeup and hairstyling is excellent in The Last Night or whatever that fucking movie is with Ben Affleck.
Oh, The Last Duel? Wait, okay.
The Last Duel.
Actually,
Yeah.
okay. So I've been seeing a lot of defenses of The Last Duel, and I would actually like to join in on that really quick because it's been nominated for some Razzies. First of all, their hair looks fucking stupid. I will say that. But it is historically accurate. So, like, fine. Jodie Comer is fucking great in that movie. Genuinely fucking great. Also, Ben Affleck is ridiculous, but he's supposed to be. That's who the character is. It's like a French duke or whatever. Like, he's supposed to be kind of silly. And so I don't think that's a bad performance. It's just a silly character.
Is it the last duel? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, we did see that, and I was ready to hate it, and I liked it more than I thought I would.
It also ended up being nominated for 0 Oscars,
which
too.
is wild.
Yeah, I mean,
because I thought
it was a well-made
good.
movie. I mean, if you're going to nominate a fucking Ridley Scott movie from 2021, it should not be House of Gucci.
Correct. And the only things I will defend in House of Gucci,
I can't even with this movie.
I will
just looked up
defend-
images.
Jeremy Irons was great.
And Gucci.
Al Pacino
Yeah.
was great. And Lady Gaga was great.
Yeah.
Adam Driver was fine. He was just fine. Salma Hayek was fine. They didn't really know what the fuck they were doing with her. And Jared Leto was fucking terrible. Just absolutely fucking terrible. I'm so fucking sick of him.
It's me, Jared Leto.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much, yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much. But anyway, so we had seen a bunch. And like we'd seen all the ones nominated for visual effects. So that was Dune, Free Guy, Spider-Man, Bond, and Shang-Chi. So we had seen all of those. But yeah, we finished up. I had a rather big hearing on Monday. So I was spending a lot of time Saturday and Sunday preparing for that. I think otherwise we probably could have squeezed in like one more.
Maybe one more, maybe a shorter one.
Maybe Spencer or something.
Yeah.
But we ended up watching Drive My Car. That was our last one to watch. And we watched it right up until like, it was like 6:15. And then red carpet started at 6:30.
Yep. So yeah.
Wow.
We were down to the wire, getting
we
through
made
that
it.
last Best Picture nominee, and it was a long one. It was a 3-hour film that we
3-hour film and subtitles.
we went through it. But yeah, we made it to the red carpet after that, and that's when we saw all the looks from the stars.
Yeah.
All right.
So give us some takes
I'll address them
on
briefly.
fashion.
I also will say I did consult with one of my best friends who has a before law school career in fashion journalism. So I'm not totally pulling these out of my ass. Like some of these opinions are things that she said more eloquently than I did. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. So she and I actually both agreed that our best dress, our favorite, was Jessica Chastain. She just looked so
Are you
fucking
serious?
good. What?
I should have a profession and I should maybe do movies on this first and then dabble in fashion because I thought I too think that's a fabulous dress.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were like laughing at me for caring about her dress. And I was like, wow, we're about to fight. But no, this is my favorite. It's so pretty. It's all these things that should be ugly and tacky. Sequins, ombre, feathers at the bottom? Like, it shouldn't be this ruffles, I guess. this is a beautiful fucking dress. It looks fresh. It looks good. Her hair is almost like the other part of the ombre. Like it goes right into that almost like peachy color on the top. I think it's so pretty. It's so flattering. It just looks like fun to wear. Like I want to wear that. Her makeup was great. The jewelry was great. She looked fantastic. Like I wanted to wear that. And also, if you look up what she wore to the after party, because that's the other thing. You got to look at Oscars and then the after party. Holy shit, she looked just as fucking good. It made me want her to play Poison Ivy. Because she's wearing this green dress.
I think that would be a great fucking casting. Matt Reeves, are you listening? WB, are you continuing to listen to this episode? Come on.
She would be fantastic. Also, this is a dress you wear when you're a best actress winner. So, you know. But what else? Ariana DeBose was great. I thought she might be best dressed, even if Jessica Chastain was my favorite. Just something really different. The bright red, the jewelry, the hair, the makeup, all looked good. I loved that she had pants on. She also had this really like bold top. And it was something that we had already seen like twice on the red carpet. People trying to pull off that neckline and failing miserable. I'm talking about you, Tracy Ellis Ross. You looked ridiculous. She looked like she was about to fall out any second. She was clearly uncomfortable. The dress was, looking at these two next to each other, you can see how like one is ill-fitting, one is not. One is well-made and one is not. Ariana DeBose was great. Tracy Ellis Ross looks fucking terrible. I realized it looks kind of like Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's just so bad. It could have been cute, but it's not. I think also other like kind of interesting looks. I thought Zendaya's was really good as just best. Like if she had been nominated, I think I would have felt different. I think I would have liked this better not as a crop top. I don't think it needed to be a crop top. I thought just like the idea of a button-up shirt, but then like this fun skirt is awesome, and it's very much like Sharon Stone Oscars. What was that? 98 or something, where she wore just like a men's button-up shirt with like a silk skirt. She looked great.
Anna's so high fashion. I had no idea you had such a high fashion, Anna.
Oh, my favorite men's look was Andrew Garfield. He looked fucking fantastic.
I can't see Andrew Garfield. Is there another page?
You might just have to.
Oh shit! There is another
he's
page.
On the next page. But you can also always Google.
Oh, I can't. I might have to take back my picks. Okay, hold on a second here. Page 2 is loaded.
Yeah, I thought Andrew looked great. I think my other favorite men's. Jake Gyllenhaal looked really good. I liked that look a lot. I think it's like a blue and black. But you can't. It just looks really good. It just looks really sharp. And then Timothée Chalamet looked great.
Oh yeah,
Timmy looked awesome with the bare chest, but the sequin jacket. Simu Liu did look good. He did.
Yeah, come on, that red. I like it. I think it's bold. I like it.
I didn't like the tie with that collar. I found it distracting, and I thought the shoes looked bad. But I thought the suit itself was very nice. You can see. You just went past the Jessica Chastain. Oh, it's gone.
It's gone now. Oh no. Missed the window.
Oh, Andrew Garfield's look. He's your favorite look.
He was. My favorite
the double. I do like the double.
Mm-hmm. And that color just looks so good on him. Oh, yeah, he looks great. Yeah. Oh my god.
I would say
and the
most
hair
sharp dressed man, Andrew Garfield.
It's old asshole from Euphoria. Look at him, Jacob Elordi.
We were wondering why he was even there in the first place.
Well, we think he was a last minute invite to present with Rachel Zegler because she was Maria in West Side Story, and she didn't get invited. And it's not really the Oscars' fault because they gave tickets to Disney, and Disney didn't invite her. But my theory is that they felt like if they invited her, they would have to invite Ansel, and they didn't want to invite him, so they didn't invite her. But she did end up there, and she presented. She looked great, too, actually. And I was very impressed because she pulled that together in 6 days.
Maybe she was preparing the whole time, and then she never got the call, and she's just like, excuse me?
I'm not sure.
And that prompted the tweet. That changed
the
things.
Instagram comment.
Oh, whatever it was. Okay,
that led
whatever.
to it all. Yeah, I was really glad that she was there. Rami was there?
I don't know. Jason Momoa looks pretty sharp.
I guess you weren't watching at that point, but he's the one that set up the Billie Eilish performance. And Phineas.
Oh, okay. Oh, I missed it. God, why is he doing that with his face?
Someone online.
I swear to God.
Someone online.
Every time I see Rami Malek now, it looks like when they took the teeth out from Freddie Mercury. He's got all his teeth because he looks like this. Does he not? Come on, he looks like that.
So, someone online commented, like, why does Rami Malek look like he's looking at me through the TV?
God. Does he have a cane? No. What is he holding?
I don't know.
Rosie Perez looks pretty good.
Rosie Perez did look pretty good. Oh, there it is. No, there. Click on that. Yes. Because I'm making him click on the Vanity Fair after party because Zendaya looks fucking terrible. She looks like a Batman villain and not in a good way.
She's auditioning. She says, I'm done with Spider-Man.
Bad. Cody Smith, I just can't look at.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, and Megan looked great. All of her looks were really good, I thought. She looked fantastic. I don't know who that is. Yeah, Megan looks great in both those. That's a well-fitting dress. That blue one is fucking gorgeous. I liked her yellow one, too. Kirsten looked good. She looked good. It was very
Holy shit.
Oh, I don't love Timmy's Vanity Fair look. It's like leather on denim. I don't love that. Oh, wait, go back up. Oh, Olivia Colman, I like her Vanity Fair. Looks better.
It's a little Padme. Or Leia.
It's
maybe Bespin
it's
Leia.
Very Leia.
They're both
Leia. Oh my God, they're both Leia.
Yeah.
They're both Leia.
They're
Makes
both
me like
very
the first
Leia.
one more. But anyway, keep going. I want to get to Jessica.
Okay, I'm scrolling as fast as I can.
Marley Mountain looked good. Oh, Jada did look good. She looked really
Jada
good.
looks like a Dune character with that thing. It looks like she's coming out of some sort of.
I love that green dress. Oh God.
There we go.
Wait, go back up though. Tracy Ellis Ross looks fucking terrible there too. You look like I can't. All right.
Here's Jessica Chastain. That's a great
Does she look like Poison Ivy?
She
or
does.
What?
This was her audition.
Come
This was
on.
her audition saying, and she's holding the fucking Oscar at that point.
She looks
Come
fucking
on.
great. The necklace is great. The hair is great. She looks fantastic. She was great in Eyes of Tammy Faye. Highly recommend.
Oh my! Look at that dress.
Well earned.
Halsey. What's Halsey wearing?
What is she ever wearing? Oh, and I like Ariana DeBose's too. Oh, I hadn't seen that. Very cute. Very simple. Little black dress. Oh, Zoe Kravitz. I did like Zoe's
It's also
look.
Leia-esque.
Well, her first one. I don't know how I feel about that one. But I liked the very pink bow, like classic Hollywood kind of look. Like she's giving me Audrey Hepburn meets Pretty in Pink.
Mm-hmm.
And I did really like that look.
Any others? Any others that stand out?
No, I don't think so. I think that was pretty much it.
Oh, good Lord.
What is that?
Fuck's sake. We're reacting to the picture you sent.
Look at that. That's a new look.
She's trying to be Rihanna, and she's not Rihanna.
I can get behind that fashion.
No. Oh, Nicole Kidman looked like a cupcake.
I thought you said a muffin.
A muffin. I did say a muffin, didn't
Well,
I?
some sort of
Baked good.
baked good.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? I actually liked the Himes. I thought the Himes were in great dresses that very much fit each of their personalities, and I thought they were nice and simple and very good for like first-time attendees. I did like those.
Wow. Look at did you see Haley Steinfeld?
No, I didn't.
Look at this.
I didn't know
This is
she was
some high
there either.
fashion.
You're just going to send more goods our way.
Send pic, please.
Look at that.
Oh, Kenneth looks nice. Oh, that's super cute.
Yeah, that's really nice looking.
Oh, I don't think she was at the Oscars. I think she only went to the after party.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense then.
Yeah. Chrissy Teigen, another one, only went to the after party, and I thought she looked very nice. But, yeah, Haley does look good there, doesn't she?
She does. She does look good.
Especially because the last time we saw her on a red carpet, we couldn't tell it was her.
Oh,
Met.
yeah, the Met, yeah.
And Tessa
Fair enough.
Thompson's totally rocking her. What was that crazy ass movie she was in?
Sorry to bother you.
Yes,
Stephanie Beatrice
totally rocking a
also
"Sorry to
looked
Bother
good.
You" look.
All right.
All right, that's the fashions.
All right, so I wanted to address something actually before we hit on the winners. and Andrew will find this interesting because this ties into something that he and I talked about probably when the nominees were announced, and that is, who the fuck are the assholes making these decisions? I think is
Mel Gibson.
You know, like try to figure out what the hell is going on here.
One of them. I know that. Sydney Sweeney.
That's who it is. Okay.
How'd she dye her hair?
I don't know. But anyway, as Andrew probably continues to send us looks as he listens, I'm going to say a few words about...
You created this monster of that.
I want to say a few words about like kind of what goes into the decision-making process. So basically, the simplest answer is you need to be part of the academy to be able to vote on who gets nominated at the very least, and then later on you'd be part of the ones that actually vote for the winners themselves.
And that is the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
That is indeed correct. So for the longest time, the comprising members of the Academy were a bunch of white people.
And a bunch of men.
And mostly men as well.
And shocking, it's still...
It's
mostly
still,
bunch of old white men.
It's still predominantly, yes,
Shocking.
Tends to be that way. But it looks like the most recent statistics that have been put out that I could find anyway of my 5 minutes of Googling were that, you know, since a lot of backlash has kind of come the Academy's way
Oscars
in years past, they've made a, you know, somewhat concerted effort to increase the amount of women that are part of the Academy, to increase the amount of people of color that are part of the Academy.
I do want to pause there real quick because I think concerted effort may be true, but it's not a big effort. Because the thing is, even of their new member groups, they are not representative of the population. Their most recent
of the voting body or of the
right. So most of the members of the Academy can vote. But of that most recent
but not
class,
all.
It's a very small number that can't. But of that new class, it was still only 46% women. Like, we couldn't even achieve equal amounts there, which I think is problematic when you consider that was 400 people and there are more than 10,000 members of the Academy. So, like,
wow.
They like to throw out these numbers and be like, oh, look at all these, like, diverse people we added. And, like, they really didn't. Like, that's what they should have been doing for years. They've done nothing to make up for the fact that 67% of the Academy's members are men. So it's just not representative. It's just not helpful to, like, get, you know, different stories and perspectives recognized.
Now, what is it to be a member of the Academy? Are we going to get that deep into the Academy? Like, what is the Academy?
So I think basically... I read this, I think it's actually in a different article than the one I'm looking at right now, but I'm pretty sure basically you yourself need to be involved in filmmaking and have a certain amount of credits on your resume to even be like eligible for consideration. And then I think you apply for membership, and then, you know, just because you apply doesn't mean that you're automatically in, is kind of how it works. You know,
I feel like usually there's membership in a guild is associated.
That that sounds right.
But pretty typical.
Pretty common, I would guess. So that's usually kind of the criteria for it. But this is just kind of hitting on kind of what Anna's talking about. 2014 survey. So we're going back, you know, a few years, obviously. Oscar voters were on average 63 years old. 76% were white. I'm sorry, 76% were men and 94% were white. 94%. So yes, I'm sure those numbers have gone down, but we're probably like in the 80s at this point still, you know what I mean?
Here's another question. Is there a, like obviously Oscars gets all the headlines. Is there another award that is either more prestigious or more recognized or more inclusive of different peoples?
I don't know if you're like doing this as a setup, but... Previously, like, the kind of one below the Oscars were the Golden Globes.
Right.
And so that was always kind of a weird voting body because it was the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. So it's just like foreign journalists who work in Hollywood. It came out last year that 0 members were black. I don't know if it was
zero?
I don't know if it was fully 100% white, but there were 0 black members of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Okay, well,
and there were also a bunch of other issues with the Golden Globes, like the fact that Emily in Paris got nominated, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? The show is terrible." And then it came out that Netflix had like flown members of the HFPA out to watch filming of the show, and there was just a bunch of scandal associated with the Golden Globes. So
I gotcha.
This year they were not canceled, but they were not broadcast. So NBC basically declined to, I think they saw the exclusive contract, but declined to broadcast them.
Wow.
And so,
okay, so
even though people won the Golden Globes, no one gave a fuck because fuck the Golden Globes. So this year was kind of a like, well, who's going to take over as that kind of second fiddle to the Oscars? And no one really did because people don't really care that much. But I think probably the two that come close are the Screen Actor Guild Awards and Critics' Choice Awards. And the SAG Awards are usually really good predictors of who's going to win the acting categories. At
the SAG is the Screen Actors Guild. Right. Okay.
But it's a lot more limited in terms of the awards they give out. So, like, I don't think the Screen Actors Guild gives out director. It's just acting, basically.
I got you. Okay.
But it's movies and television. So I think people thought the Critics' Choice would kind of come up there, but there's just, like, no promotion, no marketing, which is a shame because now it means the Oscars really have, like, a...
That's the big one. And...
Yeah, they have the hold on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. Well, it's interesting you talk about the SAG Awards in terms of kind of how it's limited. So that's kind of how it starts with picking who even gets nominated for the Oscars. There are 17 branches within the Academy.
Right. Only directors can vote for directors, right?
Exactly. So there's a directing guild, there's an acting or branch. Guild, I said guild. Branch. There's an actors branch, there's a directors branch, there's a cinematographer's branch, blah, blah, blah. Basically, every category has its own respective branch, and those are the people that decide the nominees for that particular category. So you start off, I think, with a pretty decent way to have kind of, peers of your own field, basically
right, yeah.
deciding who's even getting nominated.
Making sure people qualify.
And so it's basically, the more or less the ones that have the 5 most, people voting for it end up being the ones nominated.
I don't know if your research, if you came across this, but can people be part of 2 branches?
I actually don't know the answer to that question.
Like, I'm just thinking
my guess is yes, like probably.
Denzel. Can Denzel vote in both acting and directing?
My guess is probably, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay, fair enough.
But in terms of the winners, once the nominations are in, then
PricewaterhouseCoopers. Sorry.
Well, everyone votes for everything. That's the starting point. For most things, it's pretty easy. Majority wins. Best Picture is where things get a little bit more complicated, I think. I think there's basically like a ranked choice voting system in place where it's not necessarily... Like if one film gets more than half the entire vote, that's going to win. It's easy enough. That almost certainly never happens, especially now that you're talking about up to 10 films being nominated. So basically... They have to, put it in the system like, all right, is this number 1 for you? Is this number 2? Like, basically the end result being, and I'm not going to try to spend a ton of minutes explaining it, that theoretically a film that has the most number 1 votes could still lose because a lot of voters that didn't pick it as number 1 put it as number 7 or 8. So it got, like, dropped in the ranking, whereas maybe something with the most number 2 votes, because everyone pretty consistently put it at number 2, that might actually be the Best Picture winner for that particular year. So it's there's a lot of nuances to how the hell that gets calculated, but that's kind of the basic idea of how that can happen is, having something with the most 17% of the number 1s, for example, maybe that's the most of any one given film, but it still ends up not being the Best Picture winner for the year.
I mean, this is basically ranked choice voting.
Yes, yes. I'm just explaining ranked choice voting is what I'm trying to do.
Which is good.
Because
but
to be fair,
that your vote counts even if your top choice doesn't win.
Yes.
Which is called, what's this process called?
Ranked choice voting. So, like, not many places have, like, adopted this. But, like, for example, like, New York City, that's how they elect their mayors. right? Did I just make that up?
That might be
pretty
true.
sure.
I don't know for a fact. If
Fact-
you
someone
said it on a
fact check
podcast,
that.
it must be true.
Someone fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that was like a new thing last year.
I don't know. I think it sounds kind of like horse shit. If everybody votes number one, like it's just okay. I'm number one.
Well, if everybody votes number one, then there's no
they
problem.
Win. No, it's just so like if the majority of people. So think about it this way. Let's say you have 100 people in a room and you just need one person. Sorry.
There's 100 people in a
let's say
room. 100 people in a room
Okay.
voting for
So, like,
the best pizza.
If 60 people vote for put one piece of pizza that they're number one, great, it wins. But let's say that 40 of those people put that one as their number one, but 80 of the people put a different one as their number two, or something like that. Like it's kind of the best for the most people.
Best
another
for
way to
the
look at
most.
it-
Best for the
Right.
most. Okay.
So, like, if you think about it as, like, let's say if you get actually, this is a good one, sports voting at the end of the season, like MVP. First place, you get 5 points. If you get voted for second place, you get 4 points. Third place, you get 3.
It's just
Fourth,
points.
2,
It's a point
like that.
system. Right.
Right. And then you add it up. And so whoever got the most first point votes might not actually have the most points.
Right.
Like, there might be a player who didn't, but everybody said, oh, they're for fucking sure in the top 3.
Right. I
So
understand.
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it makes
that's-
sense,
yeah.
especially when you have a category that has that many options, like Best Picture, where it has 10 options.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For the other ones, it wouldn't make sense. But for something that's got 10 fucking options, just makes more sense.
I got you. I understand. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
and I
think
guess it isn't always 10. It's up to 10.
it's up to 10, but it's been like
It's been
there's
9
like
or
been
10.
at least 8. I feel like
Yes. I
Recently.
don't think it's ever been less than 8
since they expanded
changed
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to get into the winners. What do you guys
Do
think?
it.
Are we just going to go category by category?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some that we can kind of gloss over.
Yeah, we could skip through.
We
We could probably skip all the short film stuff.
sort of.
Right?
I think in terms of the short films, we did not watch any of them. But I will.
Was
say
that
I
little
heard-
animal one in there? I watched that little animal one. It made me cry.
What little animal one? The raccoon one before Encanto.
With the beach?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Oh my
I said the same thing. I cried when I watched that. It's so cute. It is so sweet, and it was not nominated, which I think is some fucking bullshit.
It is some bullshit.
These are more like 30-minute films, not
Oh.
5-minute films. But yes, I love that. It was so cute. No, but the only one I wanted to mention was just The Long Goodbye, because I had heard really good things about it, and it was produced by Riz Ahmed, and they won. And it's streaming somewhere, and now I forgot. Maybe Hulu. I can't remember. No, Flea is on Hulu. I don't know, but I that's one like I'd want to go back and watch. I think we talked about kind of Dune sweeping technical awards: visual effects, sound, production design, editing. Right? Did I get those right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think all of those are well deserved and well done. And Colton and I had a conversation about how there's some stuff that you're like, is it production design or is it visual effects? Because somebody had to design it, but then somebody else had to like create it. It's not like they like went out on this chair and this whatever. And I said that the only thing that I thought kind of rivaled in production design was Nightmare Alley.
That's right. That's totally
That
fair.
shit wasn't CGI. They had to find that and build that and create it.
Let's see
from hand.
production design. Marilyn Power of the Dog.
But Dune is still very much like creating this fantastical world.
Totally. Yeah.
That's very much production design.
And I think a big thing with production design too is how it's captured, right? Like, so, it's one thing to create. It's one thing, like for example, in Nightmare Alley, you have a total aesthetic, right? It's like a very Art Deco kind of thing, and you can capture it incredibly well. Like you capture it in black and white, and then you can capture it in color, right? Like it's a really cool thing. And then Dune, the same thing. You're creating the world, but how is that world caught on film? and it's so cool. Like they created different ways to shoot things based off the production design. It's so cool.
And I think even in looking at the design of like some of the indoor spaces, like the bedrooms, on Arrakis versus on what's the homeworld called?
Caladan.
Like they're very different. Those inside spaces are totally different.
Plus like fucking Gaidi Prime or whatever, like where the Harkonnens.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Like,
yes.
totally different.
Totally different. And just kind of captures the personality of like the people who live there and like the elements and shit like that.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Dune.
No, I mean Nightmare Alley is totally a very.
Right.
I mean that's a flip a coin.
I would have been happy with either of those winners.
There comes a point where there are inevitably going to be at least 2 or 3 films in any given category where you think, yeah, that could win. That deserves to win. I could see that winning. You know what I mean? Sometimes there are nominees like House of Gucci and makeup and hairstyling where you think, fuck
Please
you,
no.
fuck off. I don't, like, and it didn't win, fortunately. But I mean, anything that Dune won in, like we talked about Tick Tick Boom for editing. Andrew saw that recently too.
Oh my God,
like an incredibly
what a movie.
well edited film. But I'm not going to be mad about like Dune, taking the cake for that. Especially, Dune cleaning house on like the technical awards is it's pleasing to this one. I'll say, you know what I mean. So fine. But Nightmare Alley obviously was great on the production design front. But
how good was Coda? Did you watch Coda?
Okay, wait, we're getting to
gonna-
that.
we'll-
It's not
we'll
time.
get
You're
there.
jumping
We'll get
the gun
there.
here, bro. Come on now.
God.
we'll talk about it for adapted screenplay.
We're going
and-
to talk
and I
about
don't-
makeup and hair.
That's what I was
real
looking at. I
quick.
was looking at about adapted screenplay. Anyways, where are we at? Which,
So makeup and hairstyling,
hairstyling.
real quick. This went to Eyes of Tammy Faye, which absolutely deserved it because they transformed Jessica Chastain and Andrew Garfield, and also like over the course of several decades. And it was just really well done, and especially because Tammy Faye Baker, like her makeup was such a huge part of her like personality and identity and brand, and I just thought they did a really great job with kind of putting it on display. I'm really glad Jessica Chastain also won. Sorry, spoiler. I do still wish that movie had been a miniseries because I just think they could have gone so much more in depth, and it felt rushed at times, and like they were trying to cram so much in. And
A lot of montages.
as Colton said, like once you get to your third montage, you're like, this should probably be some other kind of avenue. But great movie, and the makeup and hairstyling was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And this was one of the ones that they gave before the show started. And I just want to point out that that's why Jessica Chastain was like the first person on the red carpet, because she wanted to be there in time for her team, and she was there to hug all of them as they walked up to the stage. So
what a
Jessica Chastain,
fucking
extremely
woman.
talented and just a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Just love her.
I do.
Go ahead.
I have comments about makeup and hairstyling.
Sure.
My number one pick would have been House of Gucci strictly for the transformation of one Jared Leto into a House of Gucci member.
To a very bulbous headed man.
Yes. He's totally. You could not recognize him at all. Like, I mean, it's just a tour de force
You
with makeup.
cannot recognize
hairstyling.
me.
But what about Dune and the Harkonnens, especially? Huh? You know what I'm talking about? Harkonnen? Did I say it wrong? Harkonnens?
Harkonnens.
Harkonnen.
Harkonnens.
It's a
Harkonnens.
Harkonnens?
Harkonnens. Yeah. That's how they say it in the movie anyway.
Is it?
Do they say it different in the audiobook? Wait, you've listened to the audiobook. How do they say it in the audiobook?
Harkonnen. I always thought it was Harkonnen.
They must say it like that in the audiobook then, because didn't you listen?
No, well,
to the
I did listen to the audiobook, yes, but I'm also I'm 60. I'm probably at least 30% idiot, so maybe I don't remember. So,
Oh my god.
anyways, I digress. What's the next thing?
No, I was just going to talk about costume design really quick. This was a weird one because there were only 4 nominees, which I don't really know how. But Cruella won, and I think that's fine. There was some really great. Is there a 5th? Is it just my printer cut it off? I thought there were only 4 nominees. Well, I might have chosen. No, I would not have chosen differently because I thought West Side Story's costume design was lazy. Sorry, not sorry. yeah, I thought costume design, I thought that Dune did a good job, but I thought Cruella just...
if there's one aspect of that film that it
great
excelled in,
costume design.
it was that.
And
it was the
especially
costume
because such
design.
a big part of that was fashion and kind of the way she used it to say what she wanted to say. Like, I did think that was great. Okay.
But Dune could have won there, too.
I'm kind of going with ones we care about least as we build up. So I'm actually going to skip to documentary feature real quick.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Which also I think we should get something else out of the way before we get into the... because of what happened right before documentary feature.
Is that when it happened? Okay.
It is.
Is that when the slappening happened?
The slap.
Are we talking about the slappening?
We're going to talk about it briefly.
We'll get it out of the way.
And then we're going to...
and then promptly never talk about it again.
Because everyone's heard enough.
It's just so bullshit.
Here's my take after reading many takes, good and bad. When Chris Rock walked on stage, I think our first reaction was, "What's wrong with your face?" Because my God,
what's wrong with your face?
His plastic surgery is fucking horrendous. I'm sorry, no one's eyebrows should look like this. My hope is that the slapped him back to normal a little bit. Sorry. No, but I think my second thought was, I said to Colton, ugh, Chris Rock is so overrated. I don't need to hear him speak. And part of that is because when he hosted in 2016, he did a lot of punching down. Like it was like he was just being an asshole.
Yeah.
He said some super racist shit about Asian kids. He also said some really fucked up shit about Jada. Like, literally, he had fucking roasted her and Will, and her in particular. And apparently this goes, like, way back to them having, like, one date that she had described as the worst date ever, and he used it in stand-up comedy. Like, they've never liked each other. But he had already, like, 6 years ago, fucking, like, it was mean. Like, if you look it up, it's just mean. Like, it was unnecessary. And they're not fucking friends. Like, they're not fucking friends. They don't like each other. Don't talk shit about people like that. Number one is kind of where I'd go with that. Number two, don't fucking joke about someone's medical condition that they've expressed. Like black women already have like a really complex, important relationship with their hair, which Chris Rock should fucking know because he made a documentary on black women's hair. Like, he needs to sit down and shut the fuck up. But it was mean. It was not funny. It was just mean. And when we watched it, I also said, I think Jada's reaction is genuine. I said that to you. I said, I think she's pissed. She's pissed about that. Now, in that same shot, you could see Will Smith laughing. And I think some people have defended that as like, oh, like when you're uncomfortable, you laugh. No, he thought it was funny. He definitely thought it was funny. It was once he saw his wife's
It wasn't
face.
a very fucking funny joke, though. I mean,
No,
like,
it wasn't. It was fucking stupid. Like, what, have you never seen a bald woman before? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, I think there's a lot of reasons that people might have, especially women, might not have hair. And as someone who has grown their hair, cut it, and donated it 4 or 5 times in my life, I've donated to different places for different reasons. And so sometimes it's chemo or radiation and you lose your hair. Other times it's an autoimmune disease. It can be compulsive hair pulling. It can be alopecia, which I have friends and relatives with alopecia, which is what Jada has, which is a really traumatic thing. I think there's so much kind of tied up in society's expectations of women and long hair. And so if you buy into that at all, and how can you not, when you lose it, it's traumatic. And Jada has been very open about it and the trauma around it and how hard it's been. Because as much as some people would like to say, like, oh, it's just hair, whatever, unless you've been through that, you don't really get to say that. Because people have a really personal relationship with their hair. Everyone does. So for Chris Rock to say this, it was just mean. It wasn't funny. It was going too far. However, You don't walk up onto a stage and physically assault someone on national television. There's just no call for that. I think, I think he was angry and wanted to defend his wife, but I think, number one, like, don't assault someone. That's still illegal. And I think number two, like, come on, you're an actor, you're a comedian too. Say something funny. Make him look like an idiot. You're smart enough, you're talented enough to fucking do that, But also, he open hand slapped him. Like, fucking girl, he's fine. Like, Chris Rock, you're fine. You're fine. You are not injured. It sucks. I think also, like, as someone who more recently has literally gone in front of judges with pictures of bruises covering my client's body and said, hey, they should have a restraining order. And the judge says, haha, nope. It's, like, hard for me to look at this as not a big deal, because I think any physical assault is wrong. And I think a lot of people have been like, well, people are dying in Ukraine. Yeah, there's a lot of violence. That doesn't make any of it right. And, like, it is a sliding scale. So, like, yeah, this isn't that big a deal. Will Smith doesn't need to go to jail. He doesn't need to be charged with assault. And Chris Rock chose not to. But I think this was just, like, a lot of, like, men looking like fucking idiots. It's really all I can say about it. And once again, like, at the expense of black women. So I think Chris Rock should apologize to Jada, because whatever the fuck happened to him, he still owes her a fucking apology. I think Will Smith, quite frankly, should have fucking left when the Academy asked him to. I also think the Academy needs to get their fucking shit together. And, like, if you ask someone to leave, you shouldn't be asking people to leave. You should be escorting people out.
That's right.
But I also think them being like, we're going to start an investigation. We're going to blah, blah. I'm like, how about Harvey Weinstein? Why don't you take his Oscars away? They gave a fucking in absentia Oscar to Roman Polanski when he had fled the country for raping a child. They have also numerous times honored and awarded Woody Allen. So, like, what the fuck is the line here? Like, you're really gonna say a open-handed slap is in defense of his wife is worse than that? Like, that's fucking nuts. No. There doesn't need to be an investigation. He doesn't need to give his fucking Oscar back. But
he should give it back for not having the best performance in that category.
Well, that I do agree with. But this whole thing has invited just stupid ass takes. I think there are also people who are like, you don't get to have a take on this. Well, yeah, if you're watching this, I watch the Oscars every year. I was watching this. It shook me. It was kind of scary. You didn't know what was happening. It was scary. Seeing anger and violence is scary at whatever level it is. But I've gotten over it.
I think at the end of the day, this is an award ceremony for people, and if you can't conduct yourself in a way to where you can't be inside this award ceremony in the format that this thing is presented in for the past 70 years, then you shouldn't be here. Right?
So here's why I kind of would not disagree there, but I would just say that, when Marlon Brando refused to come and sent up a Native American actress to reject his Oscar for The Godfather, actually, John Wayne had to be physically restrained from attacking her. So I think this idea that, like, there's this decorum and there's this whatever at the Oscars, like, is just silly, because white men have been acting like fucking assholes at the Oscars.
And you know what? Marlon Brando shouldn't have been invited, or not Marlon Brando, who had to be John Wayne. John Wayne should have been asked to leave too. You don't act this fucking way.
Correct.
Quit acting.
But I just think the Oscars are just, they're, and also, like, I'm sorry, Adrian Brody, when he walked up and he kissed Halle Berry, that's sexual assault.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that either.
And then Jim Carrey fucking saying shit today needs to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up, because he did the same fucking thing to Alicia Silverstone. He walked up to and accepted an award. It wasn't the Oscars, because let's be real, it's fucking Jim Carrey. He's not winning an Oscar. But he walked up.
Sonic next year. Book it.
Shut the fuck up. Jim Carrey walked up and did the same fucking thing.
What'd he do?
It's totally fine. He walked up and he kissed Alicia Silverstone without her consent, and she tried pushing him away, and he wouldn't stop.
That's cringy.
So I don't want to fucking hear from him about how assault at award shows is wrong when he has faced no consequences for doing the same thing.
It's all wrong.
I think there's a lot of white people jumping on and say this black man needs to face consequences.
I
Okay,
don't think.
But where were you for all these other things? Why are we suddenly caring about this? I think you can, have two thoughts at once, and two things can be wrong at once. But it has been very interesting to see how many people are vocal about this who haven't been vocal.
I heard today it was the Grammys. Did you see what Chris Rock did at the Grammys? What? Right? Like, so people have opinions about things, but they have no, like, you obviously have a stake in it because you watch it every year. Colton and I have I have less of a stake. I don't think I've ever seen in a complete Oscar presentation. But at the same time, if I'm at my kid's fucking, like, I don't know, honor roll program and somebody gets up and slaps somebody for making a joke about something, well, what the fuck are you doing, man? There's a way to act, right? That's all I'm saying.
Also, I think yes, you should not physically assault someone. You should sit down, and I think also you shouldn't make fun of someone's you shouldn't punch.
No.
them. I think
shouldn't.
There's a lot of comedians who are going to have to evaluate now. Are you funny or are you just mean? And I think that that's a good reckoning to have. But again, like, I don't think. Oh God, I just sounded like Julia Fox. I apologize to everyone who just heard me say again. I'm so sorry. I don't really think Will Smith should have been allowed to stay. I think he should have been escorted.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I will say that, to his credit, Will Smith apologized. And he didn't make excuses. He explained why he reacted the way he did. But he apologized. He apologized to the Academy. He apologized to Chris Rock. He apologized to everybody watching. Guess who hasn't fucking apologized?
Chris Rock with his lame-ass joke. Chris
Rock. He performed to a fucking sold-out show in Boston last night, but he didn't have a goddamn thing to say in terms of apology to Jada. So, while my opinion is diminished of Will Smith because he did this, Chris Rock fucking sucks. I'm sorry. He hasn't been funny in ages. He also was the one who, like, fucking told Louis C.K. that he could say the N-word. So, like, Chris Rock has sucked for a while.
I think the worst part about the whole thing is simply, like,
it took away from the rest of the ceremony. It killed
absolutely.
the vibe. It took, as I said that day, I said, he ruined his own moment. And he also, quite frankly, ruined Questlove's moment, which pissed me off more. Because this was right before the documentary feature.
Yes.
And Chris Rock, I'll give him this. He kept the show going. He kept going. And he awarded it to Questlove for Summer of Soul, which I've heard great things about. But it just sucked. Like, you could tell in the moment. Everybody was like, what the fuck just happened? And, there were a lot of people who, like, you couldn't tell if it, like, they couldn't tell if it was a bit. I think the only way we fully realized.
That's what we thought initially.
We saw Blue Pizza and Nyong'o's face. When we saw her face, because she was sitting right behind Will Smith, and she had the moment of, oh, fuck, this is real. Because everybody thought it was a bit. So everybody after that was, like, shook. And, it sucks that it took away from that, and it kind of took away from everything else. There was, history-making awards that we're going to talk about in a minute. But it just sucked that this happened and kind of took away from everyone's moment.
It did feel like it kind of sucked the air out of the room for the rest of the night in a noticeable way.
And I will give credit. We didn't talk about this, but I will give credit to Amy Schumer as a host. I won't give her credit because her stuff after the fact really wasn't, I don't know, her and Wanda Sykes were very much on Chris Rock's side. And I just think it's really easy to be like, they're both fucking idiots. Like, toxic masculinity is bad. They're both dumbasses. I think that's a really easy thing to say, and they didn't. But I will give Amy Schumer credit. I thought she was pretty good. I thought Wanda was bad, but I thought Regina Hall and Amy Schumer were great. And I thought Amy Schumer coming out and saying, I was getting out of the Spider-Man costume. Like, did something happen? It feels really different in here. The vibes are really off. Like, that was helpful. That, like, you know, cleared the air a little bit, and that was nice. But, yeah. So, the slap. It was fucking stupid. Men are fucking stupid.
And now spent God knows how long already talking about it.
I'm so ready to be fucking done with this shit.
Yeah.
I'm sick of hearing defenses of both of them. They both fucking suck.
I'll co-sign that. I haven't offered up any hot takes on this because I don't really need to. I think Anna's covered it as
with my yelling. You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I've thrown in a joke here and there just to try to keep the mood light. But they're both assholes. He made Chris Rock made an asshole joke. Will Smith made an asshole move and slapping him. Like, no one needs to go to jail. Everyone's just an asshole, and no one wins in this scenario.
Except that in the aftermath, I will say Will Smith looks better because he did apologize.
All right, I think that's enough. Let's move on. We've got lots of winners to talk about. I think we should move on. So where to next?
Colton, Andrew and I have been trying to get you to shut the fuck up for like 5 minutes. We're ready.
I've said a lot about the slap already. So
to talk about some music.
Music. Let's go. Yeah, let's talk about some music. What do you have to say about music?
Well, this will surprise no one. I have strong feelings about this category, both these categories. So let's start with original score.
Dude.
Original score. I'm looking at it.
Fuck you, Hans Zimmer. You did a great fucking job.
I
found the video. I found the video of the woman singing.
This is why Wonder Woman 1984's score fucking sucked, because he was busy.
Hans was a little busy
working on this and No Time to Die.
Mm-hmm.
So Hans can continue to go fuck himself, but also this was well deserved. This was fantastic,
and only his second Oscar win ever.
What was his first for?
The Lion King.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been several decades, in fact. So, Andrew, you saw the woman.
Yeah,
what's
the woman
she doing?
Singing.
She's
yes. I don't know if you recall this or not, but I was I've always been hyped on that woman singing.
Yeah, we know.
And she's finally I watched a behind the scenes kind of thing, and she's live with her singing. And I'm trying to get it over to you.
Are you trying to send it to us?
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Here you go. Look at her. There she is. She's actually mid-growl with the old
thumbnail.
It's fucking epic.
So we can see her. I guess my new sign-off will be, fuck you, 2-time Oscar-winning composer Hans Zimmer.
There was seriously some creative juices going in the making of the score. Like, there's a big, I don't know, there's probably like a 15-minute, I think it might be Business Insider or something. Somebody did a big interview with them. And it was, they made, oh, there she is screaming it.
Are you screen sharing this?
No, we're just both watching the video.
All right, let's move on.
Epic, right?
This is why you guys end up in here for 4 fucking hours every night.
Well, that and Will Smith.
Guy got goosebumps
fucking slapping the shit out of Chris Rock.
God,
doesn't help
Colton,
either.
Get over it and move on. We're talking about music now.
I mean, Dune
Dune won, and it was well deserved. Now let's talk about original song.
Original song was that was trickier.
Feelings.
That was a trickier
Let's
category.
talk first of all about how fucking bad that Diane Warren song was. Diane Warren, we're stressed always. What?
Which one is that?
The one from the Mila Kunis Glenn Close movie? There was a movie with Mila Kunis and Glenn Close, apparently?
The Reba McEntire one?
Yes, the Reba McEntire one. Fucking bad, fucking generic, fucking stupid. Whatever. And then let's talk about Down to Joy, Belfast. Listen.
I have thoughts. But
I like Van Morrison, but like it's just another Van Morrison
I had no
song.
idea that there was an original song recorded for Belfast.
Just another Van Morrison
I would have, if you told me that was recorded decades ago, I would have said, yes, it was. I agree.
But it just sounds like another Van Morrison song. Like there's nothing special, there's nothing unique about it. On the other hand, the other 3 songs are all genuinely great. No Time to Die, classic Bond song. Obviously, Billy and Phineas are really talented. It was great, but it like wasn't even my favorite Bond song of.
Are they
Daniel
more
Craig
talented
movies.
than Lin-Manuel? Are they?
They aren't. So here's my thing. My pick for this, for number one, and I believe Colton's was too, for our what we wanted to win or what we thought was the best, was Dos Oreguitos. Because
Yes.
Oreguitas? Is it A or O? A.
Dos Oreguitas.
I never took Spanish, sorry.
Origati.
This song is so good.
That was not right.
Colton, what?
Andrew's attempt did not go well.
Colton cries on cue when this song plays.
I didn't
Me
cry
too.
when Sebastian Yatra
only
performed
reason
it.
we didn't cry when it was performed at the Oscars because those dancers were dancing and they're like smiling
Oh,
and
it was
happy, and I'm like, have
fucking
you
weird.
seen the
It was a
fucking
weird,
movie?
It was a weird like
It didn't
choreography
fit the
for the
vibe.
song.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Quick tangent. That In Memoriam was a fucking travesty. That In Memoriam was the worst In Memoriam I have ever seen in my life. I understand that some people treat funerals as a celebration of life. No, that was not it. Singing and dancing, upbeat. I liked the little parts where people came in and like talked about their friends. Like I liked when Jamie Lee Curtis came in with the dog, Mac and Cheese, which was later adopted by John Travolta. I liked when Bill Murray came in. Like I liked that part.
Oh, I don't know any of
But
this.
they sang and danced, and it was like upbeat and like too lively. And I'm like, we're talking about people who died.
Isn't it great that these people are all dead?
Like, it was weird. It was inappropriate. It was not it. So,
and
the musical performances were almost all disappointing. I thought Dos Oreguitos, he was great. Sebastian Yatra was great. He was so nervous, you could tell, but he was so good. He has such a beautiful voice, but the dancers were really distracting and bad, and we didn't need them. Billy and
He
Phineas,
performed the song live at the Oscars.
all the songs were performed live.
Oh, that's cool.
and then we also got another performance for a song that wasn't even nominated.
We got
sort
a performance of We Don't Talk About Bruno, which I'm not mad about.
It's a pretty
the way
excellent
that
song.
they did it.
I'm mad about the way that they did it. I'm not mad about Megan Thee Stallion's verse. I thought that was perfect because like we don't need to have the like they told me my fish would die the next day. Like we didn't need that. So her verse was really good. It was a good verse. I loved the Zendaya shout out. Like it was great. She looked great. She sounded great. Awesome. But the other ones where they just cut out all the verses and never even had another chorus. It was weird. It was stupid. It was unnecessary. It took everything that everybody fucking loves about the song and cut it. You know? Like, it was just really stupid and unnecessary. Billy and Phineas were fine. It was fine. I will say the only performance, like a live performance of a song. Oh, yeah, I guess Van Morrison didn't actually play.
That's true.
But the only performance that like blew me away and was so fucking good was what would be my pick for number 2. So I would have put it above Billy and Phineas, but below Dos Oreguitas, and that is Be Alive by Beyonce. That woman knows how to produce a goddamn show. They should have her doing the Oscars because holy shit, the like tennis ball green, the walking through the streets on the horse, and the 2 actresses who played Venus and Serena walking up, and just the white beads, which are like the iconic Venus beads, and Blue Ivy like dancing and singing in front of her. It just was so good. She sounded so good. It's a great fucking song. It perfectly fits the movie. It was just a great job. It was great production, great vocals, great like just the whole band behind her and orchestra and the dancing. It was just, it was really good. It's a great way to really open up the show. I just think that not only is she like talented and smart and successful, but she's so fucking good at putting on a show. And I would have liked to see Beyonce win over Billy and Phineas.
Yeah. So anyway, No Time to Die won, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Which
I'm
I
not
predicted.
Mad.
You know, that's
You
to my own
did.
horn, but I did predict it.
As shown from their weird fucking Tony Hawk and Shaun White and Kelly Slater, like doing the whole Bond. Like, we didn't need that. But they love Bond. I'm not mad that Lin-Manuel didn't win. And that is because this would have completed his EGOT. And he was unable to be there because his wife had COVID. And I would have been very sad if he had completed his EGOT and hadn't been there to accept it in person. So I'm not mad about that because I think that he's so young and he's our Howard Ashman. Like, he's going to do so much more and he's going to have another chance to win an Oscar. So I can feel better about that. But, I think the 1, 2, 3 were all really close and really good, and 4 and 5 were like way, way down there. It was kind of that 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That was me putting my hand up in the air for 1, 2, 3, and then down low for 4 and 5. Because yeah, but yeah, it was nice to see the performances because some good songs. And I think that brings us to, what do we want to do first? Cinematography or international feature?
We can hit on cinematography. I think that kind of rounds out the technical stuff.
Sure.
Dune. Also Dune. Greg Fraser. Crushing it. Did Dune? Did the Batman?
I was a little worried they were going to give it to Power of the Dog. And I would have been a little upset because while Power of the Dog had beautiful cinematography, it was a little, like, oh, wait, am I watching Lord of the Rings? Yeah, a little bit you are because both were in New Zealand. But yeah, Dune is just... Yeah,
Dune's capturing
it's just gorgeous.
Worlds that you've never seen
it's
before.
Just beautiful.
I mean, yeah.
Every shot.
Okay, it's a desert planet, but like,
every shot you want to print out and like put on your wall.
Yep.
Every shot.
That's the qualifier. That's the I think that's how I ended up talking about The Green Knight when we did our
every frame.
But not even nominated for the record. Not even nominated for the record. Bunch of out of touch white assholes. That's what it is.
What should that have gotten in over?
Well, I didn't watch Macbeth.
Yeah, but it looked fucking shitty.
So probably Macbeth of those.
Never mind. I won't say it. Well, I will. I
haven't seen Macbeth.
I just want to point out that there's a long history of there being a Macbeth curse, where if you say Macbeth in a public place, particularly in a theater, you are inviting something bad to happen to you.
Oh my!
And shortly before the Slappening, Chris Rock said Macbeth in a crowded theater.
It was fate. It was written.
There's a reason that in Hamilton, when Hamilton is writing a letter to Angelica, he says, whoever's I'm Macduff and Congress is Burnham Wood on the way to whatever. And he says, I'm going to try to explain this tragedy without naming a certain Scottish play or whatever the fucking line is. Like, that's why he says it. He's trying to not say Macbeth, because if you say Macbeth, oh God, we're going to lose power or something. I've said it so many times.
I don't think we're in a theater, are we?
And I guess we're not in a public place, so it's fine.
I'm pretty sure it's not public.
Hope it's not public.
Andrew can see us. I don't know. Does that count?
I don't know.
Anyway,
sorry. Tangent again. Let's move on to...
International feature. Of which we saw all of 1 out of 5.
There are 2 others I'd like to see. I would like to see The Worst Person in the World, because I heard good things about that. And that was nominated for screenplay too, right?
Yes, original screenplay as well.
And Flea, I had also heard really excellent things about. That one I do know is on Hulu. And I think has a dubbed version. But then the winner was Drive My Car.
The one we watched.
Which was the one
the
we
day
watched.
of.
Nice.
Which was great.
It's very good.
It's very meta in terms of theater, and
it's long, but it's very good.
It's long, but it's very good. I think there could have been some cuts, but it was excellent. Performances were great. It was weird. There were some weird parts. Sure. Especially that first. This is not a spoiler, but the opening credits don't come until 40 minutes into the movie.
Whoa.
Like, yeah.
For a particular reason.
It makes sense.
In context, but yeah.
But that first 40 minutes is fucking weird.
And we should say it's
some weird fucking.
It's a Japanese film. That's where it's from.
You make it sound like Japanese film is the reason there was weird fucking in
No,
it.
I'm just saying
there's legitimately like weird fucking, like
there's
like
weird fucking. There's weird fucking in this
like
fucking
weird
movie.
angles, like Kumasatra kind of shits.
No. You'll just have to watch and find out.
How
It's on HBO.
How would you describe the fucking? I'm interested.
Well, that's a good word for it because it's fucking where one party is very interested and the other party is not interested at all.
Oh.
For the record, I didn't actually hear what she was saying. I was just trying to make it known that was the country that this film originated from.
For international
and that's
feature.
why it was an
Yes.
international feature, is because it's a Japanese film,
It is
not
really
an American
interesting.
one.
Part of the meta part of it is that in it they're putting on a play where it's an international cast and everyone's speaking their own language, and there's like a screen up above them on the stage that like has subtitles or whatever for a live performance, which is very cool. So it was kind of neat watching this movie that, although primarily in Japanese, also featured people speaking in English, Mandarin, and Korean Sign Language.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which was really fucking cool. And I think he actually spoke Korean at one point, right? The one guy?
I
think there was
so.
spoken Korean at one point. It was really fucking cool. Honestly, like the whole kind of concept of that play within the movie, I would like watch. Like I would go see that play.
Yeah.
Like I kind of wish the play itself was real. I mean, it's a real play, but that performance. No, Drive My Car was really good, and it's on HBO. I would definitely recommend it. It's very good.
Yeah.
All right.
Screenplays. We got original and adapted.
So we'll just kind of go up what's on our thing.
Sure.
So we'll start with adapted screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that Colton and I had also talked about with like, are you talking about, okay, it just happens to be adapted and what's the better screenplay? Or are you also kind of taking into account what is this original text and how good are you doing a job of like translating it to film? And how this one's kind of both of those things. And so I had said that my pick for it, and of course this is like, I haven't read any of the original texts except for the first chapter of Dune. And I've seen all these movies except for The Lost Daughter. But I said Dune because having read that one chapter and seeing how the other chapters go and how they bring in the voiceovers and, because it's like an opening paragraph right at the top of the chapters and like translating that to a voiceover and, making it make sense for people who don't have all the background mythology and all of that. I just thought they did a really good job.
It was a massive undertaking. For sure.
Yeah. And so I just think that could be acknowledged. But alas, this one was not won by Dune.
It was not. It already had six to go home with. So so Coda won adapted screenplay.
Coda won.
Yeah. Did it win anything else this
of-
year? I don't know if it won anything else this year.
I think that's the
Well, I
last
think-
we're going to
I-
talk about Coda.
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's just
so-
move on.
Yeah, we probably won't talk about it again.
Original screenplay. My pick for this. Fuck, I don't actually know what won this.
Original screenplay, Belfast won.
Yes, and that was
Kenneth
my
Branagh.
pick. That was what I wanted to win. I just realized. I don't think I'd realized that until right now. On my paper, I marked that I thought Licorice Pizza was going to win, but I
Both of us
wanted
did.
fucking Belfast to win because, well, a couple reasons. Number one, fuck Licorice Pizza. It could have been a great film, but it had to center on an inappropriate relationship between a woman who was either 25 or 28 and a child who was 15.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So, Licorice Pizza.
That's
has
a word. That's a word you could use.
Generally, funny moments. Generally, heartwarming moments. Like it could
Well
have been
directed,
really fucking
well acted.
good.
When
Well
did they?
done.
When did they meet? Like the within the
when
story,
sh-
they're that old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he's 15.
So it's about a
and she-
pedophile.
Well,
yeah,
hold
on.
on.
I mean,
If you want to get technical about it, pedophiles are people who are
Oh, okay.
adults who are attracted to prepubescent
That's- yeah, well.
children. This was very much a post-pubescent Child.
What do you call
Still a
that?
Child. There is a word for it that I don't actually know.
Pedophile, is that what it is? I don't know.
For the
Yeah,
layman's,
something like
though, that shit's illegal, and that's
It's-
fucking...
that shit's
It's
illegal.
definitely
It's
illegal.
Fucking creepy.
I don't know if there's a
It's
state in any, and
fucking
I don't know if
creepy.
even any of the southern states.
And
No
here's the
disrespect.
thing.
I don't think that would have been
Here's
legal
the
there
thing.
either.
Here's the thing. The people playing the parts. Woman is 20. She's my age, right? Or no, she was 28 when she filmed it,
Okay.
and he was 17 when he filmed it.
I got it right.
Ophelia?
I think ephebophilia.
Okay, sure, that's
It gen-
gross.
Sexual interest in mid to late adolescence, generally ages 15 to
There
19,
you go.
aka the plot of Licorice Pizza.
Correct.
Why would we make a movie about this?
Correct.
Ask Paul Thomas Anderson.
It
I don't know
also
if he'll have a
has
good answer
some
for you.
super racist scenes in it
'Cause he
that are
doesn't have a good
just
answer about
so
that part
problematic.
either.
No, he has bad answers about both. Yeah, I think we talked about how like this film, if you just take him when he's 17 and keep him at 17 and make her 22, 21,
It's questionable.
it's questionable, but it's way less creepy
it's
than they're
far
either
less
10
creepy.
or 13 years apart and he's only 15. This could have been a really good movie.
What? How?
it
How does that even functionally work? Like, what's the angle here? Is it the teacher? Is she a teacher?
No.
She's not a teacher, right?
No. She's
Like,
not.
how do they know each other? I mean, what's
They
the
meet
deal?
when she works for like a photography company, and they're taking school photos, and she's passing out combs, and they meet, and he asks her out, and she says no, but then she shows up for the date anyway, and says it's not a date.
So he's pursuing her,
Mm-hmm.
which is it's a double standard thing. Like, okay, whatever. He's like a
Yeah.
he's like a
He's
guy.
a child.
So
He's allowed to do that. Her job as the adult is to say no.
hey, you're too young.
Correct.
I'm
And
not
she,
a- I'm not
addresses
a
a couple times throughout
gilophilia.
it that like
yeah, exactly.
yeah. And
Pretty
she
much.
says
I'm not
a couple
suffering
times,
from
like, this is
agilophilia.
weird.
I'm
She's
like,
like,
what are you
this
doing?
is real. This is weird, right? And it's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I love Haim. I love the Haim sisters. I'm very upset with them for doing this because I thought Alana was great. I thought Bradley Cooper was fucking
He
hilarious.
plays John Peters, fucking crazy hairdresser.
Like, what?
Yeah.
And what type of angle does the film take on this relationship?
that it's fine and heartwarming and a coming of age thing.
Look,
And it never crosses a line,
doesn't, yes.
because they never have sex.
Right.
However, they kiss, tell each other they love each other. He fantasizes about grabbing her tits, and she flashes him. A 15-year-old, she flashes him. Which is definitely sexual offender behavior. So anyway, I'm glad it didn't win.
That's true.
Could have been real good.
I need to watch this movie so I
Wasn't.
can formulate an opinion about it.
Don't give it money.
There are
Torrent it.
ways to watch it.
Just torrent it. For legal reasons, nothing I say is real on this podcast, and it doesn't. I'm not serious about anything I say on here for legal reasons. So anyway, I was very excited that Belfast won because I thought Belfast was great. I'm very glad it won because I thought it was a really powerful story, and it's Kenneth Branagh's story, and I love him. And also, I was really proud of him for making a reasonably length movie after Hamlet, because his Hamlet is like 4 hours long and it's atrocious, even though it's beautifully done. So I was very proud of him for this. It was a great movie. Yeah. So that was original screenplay. So let's get to the acting categories.
Let's.
So, actor in a supporting role, we had Ciarán Hinds for Belfast, Troy Kotsur for Coda, Jesse Plemons for The Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons being the Ricardos, and Cody Smith-McPhee, The Power of the Dog. And my pick for this, as much as I love Troy Kotsur and I loved him in Coda, my pick for this was J.K. Simmons because being the
It's fucking J.K.
Ricardos
Simmons.
had some weird casting, and I really went into it thinking I wasn't going to like it. I was like, oh, Aaron Sorkin's going to Aaron Sorkin. He throws in a line about gaslighting, which like originated in a film that came out like 10 years after this or something. Like, whatever. He's very, talk about not aware and like not understanding why you shouldn't, cast a, Spanish person who is Hispanic, yes, in a Cuban Latino role. Like, he didn't understand that.
Oh, like it's a Heights. It's the Heights kind of situation where you're casting the wrong people for the wrong role. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Not even the same, because in the Heights is really about Lin-Manuel's experience in Washington Heights. This is like an actual character or an actual person, not a character, who was Cuban, and they had him played by a Spanish person who is like people from Spain, like Javier Bardem, are not Latin. They're not Latino.
Right.
Latin people are people who were colonized by the Spanish, not
right.
So they are very much not in the same racial group as the colonizers. So that was like problematic. So I wasn't hyped about these castings, but I thought Nicole Kidman did great. I thought she was really good. I thought the writing, for the most part, like didn't go too far. I thought Alia Shawkat was fucking great. She had me laughing out loud multiple times. I liked that it was a story I didn't know. And I thought J.K. Simmons was great and brought so much heart to this movie and just like made me really care about these relationships. And so I thought he was really good. But Troy Kotsur is also fucking fantastic in Coda. I'm kind of surprised there weren't more nominations from Coda, because I think the 4 main roles in Coda were just...
Well, interestingly enough, your dad on Twitter was upset about Emilia Jones not getting any recognition whatsoever.
My
which
dad did.
I agree with. I thought she was great.
My dad fucking loved Coda.
He's a big fan.
I did too. That was my pick for...
What's the deal with Coda? It's about.
We'll get to it. But the important thing is that Coda stands for Children of Deaf Adults. And so the kind of premise of the film is that the daughter in this family is hearing, while her parents and her brother are deaf.
So I gave Andrew the spiel last episode.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I was like,
did we talk about Coda before?
Colton was making this face at me, and I was like, "Why are you making this face at me?" And now I understand.
Well, the tail end of our Batman episode, which granted would have been after the 3-hour mark.
You had watched it.
That was the first time I talked about Coda. So I gave you a little bit of a preview of coming attractions with Coda, and I stated my support on the record for Troy Kotsur to win the Oscar, and lo and behold, here we are.
He was great.
He's fantastic.
He was really fantastic.
It's a very good film.
His speech.
Yes, Anna I think covered the basic premise of it. I think before she stopped, really the only big aspect is basically the conflict within the movie is that the hearing character and the family
is the interpreter.
She's the interpreter. She's crucial to the family's success in terms of business, their business, which is like
fishing
in
Gloucester, Massachusetts.
In Gloucester. But
it's a very Boston movie.
Yeah, and she wants to sing, and that's kind of like what kind of drives a wedge is right. They don't really get it, her passion for it and how good she is really. So that's kind of the plot. Right. In a simplified form for Coda.
And kind of the part of the importance is that the mother is played by Marlee Matlin, who years ago won the Oscar for she is also deaf and for Children of a Lesser God. And there's kind of this history of Hollywood not being accepting of deaf actors, and I think more so recently, there's been this acceptance. I think back to when I can't remember what year it was, but when Jane Fonda won an Oscar, she signed part of her speech because at the time the Academy did not provide closed captioning, so the deaf community could not experience the Oscars in the same way. And she was basically like, this is bullshit. Let me sign my speech so I can include them. And also like, let's get fucking closed captioning. And we have closed captioning now. It's just bad. In more recent years, I mean, of course, now I can't remember the actress's name, but she was on The Walking Dead. She was in Eternals. I almost said Immortals. Eternals.
Lauren Ridloff.
Yes. And like she's had this really like huge, kind of representation, which of course is the opposite of The Boys, where like they, took the deaf superhero or I guess the blind superhero, actually, now that I think about it, they just fucked with his ears and made him also deaf.
Oh God, he fucked that one guy up so bad.
Fucked him up so bad.
That was brutal.
So this feels like a big kind of moment of like, you have this, Sound of Metal last year, which was just like huge representation for the deaf community and kind of that understanding of that one aspect of it, and like how the deaf community feels about cochlear implants and how they're not this like, perfect solution or like this magical cure or anything like that, and how like there's so much community, and quite frankly also how kind of toxic it can be to not kind of exist in both, to not want people to exist in both worlds. And I thought this movie really shows like it's okay to exist in both worlds. She, even when she's signing at them, she's talking. And she kind of has life outside that. And just because she likes something that they don't understand or can't understand, it's a great movie. Highly recommend. It's on Apple TV. We'll talk a little bit more about it, but Troy Kotzer was fucking great. He was so fucking funny. Absolutely hilarious. And well-deserved win. For actress in a supporting role, we had Jessie Buckley, the lost daughter, I believe playing a young Olivia Colman. Ariana DeBose, West Side Story, Judi Dench, Belfast, Kirsten Dunst, The Power of the Dog, and Ingenue Ellis, King Richard. So we did not watch The Lost Daughter, to be fair. But of the others, as much as I loved Ariana DeBose, I really wanted Kirsten Dunst to win. I think part of that is because we've been like watching a lot of Kirsten Dunst movies lately, and she's so underrated in Hollywood. Like, she's fucking amazing. She's so good in everything. I think this role in particular, part of what made her so great in it is that she isn't super likable. And I think when someone isn't super likable, but you still want good things for them, or like you still want them to find happiness of some kind, like I think that's a really powerful performance. And just really, I think the way she played off of Jesse Plemons, honestly,
they have some sort of chemistry. I don't really get, like, do you think something's going on between the two of them?
I was going to say that actually the fact that they're married in real life and that's her husband and that they had this kind of separation was really talented, because they couldn't just be natural. Like, if they'd been natural.
Wait, Kirsten Dunst is married to
Jesse Plemons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there was.
Is that the Nazi from the submarine on the rock and the
Yes. And
those two are married in real life, really?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they met filming Fargo.
Also Todd.
Fargo together.
Wow.
But yeah, they were in Fargo together, and that's how they met and fell in love and had kids and then got married. They're so fucking cute together. And so they play husband and wife in this, but it's a very different relationship.
Yeah. Well,
but I just thought Kirsten Dunst and Benedict were so good to, the way they played off each other was so good too. However, Ariana DeBose would have been my very, very close second anyway. And she was the winner.
She was the winner. West Side Story.
Beating out Judi Dench for Belfast, which Judi Dench wasn't even the best actress performance in Belfast. I thought Catriona, whatever the fuck her last name, should have been nominated over her.
Yeah.
But she's Judi Dench, so she gets nominated for whatever the fuck she does.
She's just Judi Dench in about.
I mean, she won her supporting actress role for Elizabeth Shakespeare in Love as Elizabeth for 9 minutes on screen or some fucking crazy thing like that. And then Ingenue Ellis was good in King Richard. But she felt like was kind of being nominated for this one scene where she's really fucking good, and not a kind of holistic performance, in my opinion. Ariana DeBose was fucking great. I think really hard to follow in the footsteps of Rita Moreno, who of course played the same role in the original West Side Story movie and won an Oscar for it. And
can I jump in with a fun fact?
Yes, go right ahead.
This is the first time in Oscar history that two actors have won the exact same award for playing the same role. Mm-hmm. It's not the same. So I'll say it this way: it's the third time that people have won for playing the same character,
but
not for the exact same role and not in the exact same category. So the other winners were, I think, Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, Godfathers, and then the Joker. Joker had 2 winners as well, with Heath Ledger and
did Kate Blanchett not win? I thought you were going to say Elizabeth for Judi Dench. And did Kate Blanchett not ever win for Elizabeth or Elizabeth the Golden
Actually,
Age?
that may be a good one. Maybe my sources are not entirely accurate.
Kate Blanchett in Elizabeth the Golden Age is so fucking good, man. Has she not won?
She was nominated as Elizabeth, but she won the Golden Globe, but not the Oscar.
Who won the fucking Oscar?
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry, another tangent. Andrew, have you seen Elizabeth and Elizabeth the Golden Age?
Ooh, she lost to Gwyneth Paltrow.
I think I remember Colton talking about that when he watched
for
it.
For love of God, that's right. Because that year, 2 actresses were nominated for Oscars for playing the same historical figure. Judi Dench was nominated for playing Queen Elizabeth I in Shakespeare in Love in a supporting role, and Kate Blanchett was nominated in a lead role for playing Queen Elizabeth I in Elizabeth. And if they had won, it would have been the first time that 2 actresses won for playing the same person in 2 different films in 2 different categories. But she got beat up by fucking Gwyneth Paltrow in Shakespeare in Love. Hollywood was fucking obsessed with that movie that year. And I fucking love that movie, but Kate Blanchett is fucking better.
We could definitely say that Kate Blanchett is better than Gwyneth Paltrow as a human being.
Correct.
But
Gwyneth Paltrow has PUDs or whatever.
A
What's that?
pussy-smelling candle. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
fuck Gwyneth Paltrow.
That was our fun fact segment
DeBose,
here. Hope everyone enjoyed.
Openly queer woman of color to win an Oscar. She is an Afro-Latina. She is queer. She is fucking awesome. She was great in this role, especially for this supporting role that felt like a leading role in some ways, even for limited time kind of on screen. She was great. Her chemistry with the actor who played Bernardo was great.
That's awesome.
She's just fucking cool. She looked awesome. She gave a great performance. She gave a great fucking speech.
Yeah. No, she's good.
Worst bullshit is the first time I've heard about any of that. Because of fucking Chris Rock and his bad joke and fucking the slappening.
Speaking of which, let's fucking talk about it. Actor in a leading... Oh.
I'm fine with it. I'm sliding into actor in a leading role.
Let's get it over with.
Let's talk about
each of the nominees.
Well, okay. All right, fine. Let's do that.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right, so we got Javier Bardem.
He's good.
A Spaniard playing a Cuban and being there.
Better than Will Smith.
He's pretty good, though. He's a pretty good actor.
That's probably true, actually.
Does he pull it off?
He does. He's very good. He and Nicole Kidman, very good.
Very good together.
Very good. Benedict Cumberbatch, The Power of the Dog.
Also better than Will Smith.
Fucking fantastic. Way better than Will Smith and King Richard.
There's one clear winner in this list.
Andrew Garfield.
Also
tick,
better
boom.
Than Will Smith.
Far better than Will Smith and King Richard.
Incredible performance. Top notch. Best of the year. Fuck you, Academy.
Okay.
Voters.
We're going to come back to that. Will Smith, King Richard, whatever. Denzel Washington, Tragedy Macbeth. In fairness,
Didn't see that.
We did not see this.
But he's Denzel about. Come on.
When was the last time Denzel had a leading role in a movie and wasn't nominated for an
He had that Train movie that came out a while ago, Equalizer.
No. More recently, he had a certain film by the name of It's the Little Things.
Oh, yeah.
He was the main fucking character of that.
Oh, my God. Wasn't that Rami Malek and Jared Leto?
Yes. And Denzel was the main character.
All right. Fair enough.
And it was really bad.
Here's my thing, and I need to go on a quick rant real quick. This is my thing about Denzel and the Oscars. Denzel, great fucking actor. Dude has had some fantastic roles, fantastic performances. He won an Oscar for, in my opinion, one of his worst fucking performances and a bad fucking movie, and that is Training Day. It's a bad fucking movie. It's a bad fucking performance. He won the Oscar for that as a Lifetime Achievement Award, which is the same way that Leonardo DiCaprio, who's had some fucking incredible roles, some great performances, some great movies, he won an Oscar for the fucking Revenant. Come on. Like,
He
it
did
was
a really
life-
good job of getting mauled by a fake bear.
It was a Lifetime Achievement Award. And that's how I feel about Denzel's. And so after that, they're just like, well, shit, he's in this movie that was better than the one that won him an Oscar. We better fucking nominate him. So even when he's in these roles that aren't better than his peers, that aren't better than anything else he's done, if it's better than his performance in Training Day, which is anything, he gets nominated. Roman J. Israel Esquire, I heard that movie was fucking terrible. Fences, he's ridiculous in Fences.
That's that movie
He's
where
absolutely
there's a
fucking
lawyer
ridiculous.
in that movie, right? In the Israel movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Esquire means. Which you are.
Yeah!
Anyway, from what we have seen from trailers, Denzel is just Denzeling about, as Colton would say.
Oh, that deadpan look, I love it.
So anyway, I can't really speak to Denzel's performance. However, the other four I absolutely can, and I've got opinions. Javier Bardem, perfectly good performance. Problematic casting, gave a good performance. Like I said, I liked that movie a lot fucking better than I thought I would. Good for him. Also, fun fact, one of two married couples nominated for acting Oscars, because you had
Sure.
Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst. And as we'll get to later, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz both nominated in the lead.
Javier Bardem is
roles.
married to Penelope Cruz?
Yes. They
Wow.
have been for a long time, because they met and fell in love on Vicky Cristina Barcelona, which is a Woody
Never
Allen
saw it.
movie? I think it's a Woody Allen movie.
It very well could be.
With Scarlett Johansson. So, anyway,
Lots of
I guess there was
problematic faves, but maybe
one
not
good
actually
thing
faves.
to come out of it, I suppose. So my top performances here were I would have been happy with Benedict Cumberbatch or Andrew Garfield. I really thought that Benedict Cumberbatch was gonna win, and I was hoping it would be Andrew Garfield, because I think that Benedict Cumberbatch gave this really nuanced performance, this really, like, you didn't know what to think about him. You fucking hated this guy at the beginning, and by the end you liked him and you were rooting for him, and he had this growth in such a short amount of film and time, and he was great. I mean, Benedict is always great, but I thought he was fantastic. Andrew Garfield brought so much to his role as Jonathan Larson. And for people who grew up loving Rent, who have always loved Rent, they know who Jonathan Larson is. They love Jonathan Larson. And so this was really important, and a really important movie to a lot of people. And so to see Jonathan Larson portrayed in such a beautiful way, in this great performance, and especially such a weird kind of show where it was like this, 3-person stage show converted to this huge motion picture, and to have this performance still be like the heart of it and just so beautiful, and his friendships and his relationships and really caring about them no matter how crazy and however he fucks things up. Like, I just thought Andrew Garfield's performance, his singing, his everything was great. Just so fucking good in every scene.
I don't think I've ever seen him perform like he performed in that movie. It was incredible.
There's one thing before this that I think should have earned Andrew Garfield an Oscar.
What's that?
I don't know what it is.
Really?
It's not a
Facebook.
Spider-Man film.
Sorry, my Prada's at the
Oh.
cleaners, along with my hoodie and my fuck you flip-flops, you pretentious douchebag.
Social Network.
Andrew Garfield's performance in The Social Network is fucking incredible, and he should have been nominated and won a fucking Oscar for that role.
He wasn't nominated or anything for that?
No.
Oh.
The only thing he'd been nominated for before this was that shitty Mel Gibson movie.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. I was like,
It's not
he was
Hacksaw
fine in Hacksaw, but like,
No.
this is not the hill you're dying on.
No,
That's for
it's
sure.
not. No, his monologue in The Social Network, I watch every time it comes across my feed on social media, because it's just, Andrew Garfield, fucking awesome. He's so fucking good. Did you know that the scene where MJ throws the bread at him in No Way Home, she improvised that? And so his response of like, what are you doing? I have it, but not for bread, was improvised? Like, oh my God, he's just so fucking talented and lovable and awesome. He should have fucking won an Oscar for lying about being in No Way Home. The amount of
This
times
was
that
very
man
good.
said that he was not in the new Spider-Man and they'd never called him and he wasn't going to appear as Spider-Man again. He should have won a fucking Oscar for that. God damn it. Andrew Garfield should have fucking won.
He's pretty talented, dude.
And instead, Will Smith won
Yeah. So
for
I
playing a fucking asshole.
all right. So I want to hit on this because, you made an interesting point when you were talking about Kirsten Dunst, and it reminded me of kind of how, like, our previous conversations to a certain extent. Bear with me for a second. You mentioned how Kirsten Dunst's character in Power of the Dog, is unlikable, and like it's hard to like appreciate that kind of performance, but at the same time you're rooting for her, like you care about her and you want her to do want good things for her, but obviously she's out there in a bad way.
Girl's a mess.
She's having a rough go of it, and it kind of reminded me of Will Smith's Richard Williams,
he was attempting,
who is very unlikable in a similar way, but you don't want him to succeed. No, I mean you want the girls to succeed in spite of him,
right? And
you know
this
what I mean?
is what and we'll give kind of a brief, because you didn't see King Richard, right, Andrew?
No, I did not.
But you know who Venus and Serena Williams
I
are.
definitely do.
So you get it. Their father sucks.
So
the end of the story.
Thing, and this is, my mom had asked me, like, oh, was he like a helicopter parent? And I said no, because the thing
he's a
is
psychopath.
He wasn't pushing them to succeed. It was like a weird push and pull of like, if they were getting too far without him, he pulled them back to make them honestly, it's like abusive shit. Like, you can't succeed without me, you can't live, you can't thrive, you can't survive without me. Like, it felt very abusive. Like, I know that neighbor lady was supposed to be set up as like bad, but like she was kind of right. Like, they were kids, and he was pushing them too hard and making them do too much, and then would turn around and be like, they're kids, they should be allowed to be kids, blah blah blah. And it was like, which one is it, bud? Like, which one you can't have it both ways. He was a hypocrite. He, when Will Smith stood up to make his speech, which we can talk about more in a second, but he makes some comment about like, oh, I feel like the crazy dad, like just like Richard Williams, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, hold on. Richard Williams was not some misunderstood man. If anything, in his own time, he was given the benefit of the doubt far too often. Richard Williams was a fucking douchebag, a fucking asshole, a prick, a dumbass, who was all ego and cared more about himself than his daughters. That's what this movie, which, by the way, was produced by 3 of his daughters, 2 biological and 1 stepdaughter. Like, that's what this show, and this was in a positive light, so I can't imagine what it actually is. But my takeaways from this movie, the main takeaway was that while he set Venus and Serena up for success, they succeeded in spite of him and his dumb bullshit, not because of it. In spite of it, not because of it.
Now, do you feel this passionate because of Will Smith's performance? Like, both of you have very passionate views about this.
It was infuriating to watch, but not because of the performance particularly.
The way it's set up is that you're supposed to think he's a little quirky and he's doing these things and he's getting beaten down and he keeps fighting for his daughters and blah, blah, blah. And we were getting kind of pissed with the first like 40 minutes of the movie because he was setting up as a hero and we're like, this dude fucking sucks. And so the movie then kind of moves into other areas where it's like, oh no, okay, everyone's acknowledging he fucking sucks.
Yeah,
and by the end, it comes back
calling
around
him out,
to,
being like, dude.
Right, but then by the end, it comes back around to like, let's celebrate this guy, let's whatever. I'm like, no, this guy fucking sucked. Like, we don't need to celebrate him. And so like, I mean, Will Smith's performance is like fine. He's clearly over exaggerating and like the voice and he does a little blue steel, doesn't he?
He's over the top. He's
way over the top. He's Will Smith. Like, this is what he does.
Yeah. It's like a caricature almost.
Right. And so like, I think it's important to note too that like Richard Williams, who's being portrayed as this like, oh, he cares. He does this crazy shit. He does this, but it's just because he cares about his daughters so much. He had 5 fucking kids before he married Venus and Serena's mom, and he abandoned them when one of them was 8 weeks old. He abandoned them. So let's stop with this whole Richard Williams, such a great father, number 1. Number 2, he married their mother. She had 3 daughters, and he said, we got to have a couple more because I'm going to train them from birth to be tennis superstars. Like, he was a fucking weirdo. Like, he sucked.
That's psychopathic behavior.
Does.
I'm just going to say
it's crazy. So, like, this idea that we're supposed to celebrate him instead of Venus and Serena, and I think it's an interesting narrative look, but then you have to be honest about what kind of guy he was. And I think because his daughters are producing, it has rose-colored glasses on it. And I think, unfortunately, the people making the movie, including Will Smith and Anjanou Ellis, didn't get that either. They were taken in by his, whatever, his over the topness.
Now, do you know this? Do you know this because you've like read up on Venus and Williams or Venus and Serena? Like before, like you have pre-existing knowledge of them and like pretty good detail, or did you extrapolate all the shit from the movie?
No, I mean, I also had paid attention to their careers for a long time. My family is more hockey and basketball focused, but like when my parents and I went to London, like one of the number one things on our list is we went to Wimbledon, and it was great, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Like when that movie came out about John McEnroe, like with Shia LaBeouf, like my dad and I watched that. Like, I was not someone who
you're all into that shit, right?
Yeah,
okay,
to a certain extent. And then I think from watching the movie, and then honestly, like it was one of those movies that you have Wikipedia up, and you're like, did he really fucking do that? And I was like, oh my god, he really fucking did that.
So for me, it was it's just a question of, because it's worthy of recognition if you leave feeling like this dude's a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like it's worthy of recognition from that perspective.
Right. I think in this case, it was like we felt that way, and the film was still trying to like celebrate him.
Gotcha. Okay.
And be like, it was all worth it for their success. And it's like, no, it's fucking not.
Like, it's a real warped view of what the fuck happened. So I understand.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a little bit of that like Stockholm Syndrome-esque.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like Venus and Serena have Stockholm Syndrome. I'm just saying it's like the similar vibe there. And I think Will Smith, too, clearly did not understand this man. Because when he stood up and accepted the award, and I'm not to speculate, but Colt and I did have the conversation of like his reactions throughout the night, his emotional nature. Like we did consider the fact that he'd had drinks, which might explain this behavior a little bit more. But he got up there and he talked about, feeling like the crazy father and blah, blah. And he was like, well, they said that about Richard too. And it's like, it was true about Richard. And it's kind of true about you, dude. Like, have some self-awareness here, not just of you, but of the character you were playing. And I think there's this, I think in some ways Jessica Chastain is guilty of this too with Tammy Faye. Because she talks about her with a lot of love and honor. But I think also Jessica Chastain has this awareness of like, yeah, Tammy Faye was fucked up. Like, Tammy Faye did some fucked up shit. She kind of has that dual awareness of like, this was a good person who did good things, but also did some bad things. Whereas Will Smith didn't seem to kind of have that understanding of this character.
I think he just bought in like
awesome.
this guy is amazing, and
right.
And look at the success that he produced. Like, how could this guy not be great?
Right. And I will point out that Will Smith said that in his acceptance speech along with some other stuff. Richard Williams has come out and condemned Will Smith's behavior at the Oscars.
Broken clock.
Like, I'm sorry, but if like this crazy dude like is telling you did something wrong, he's right. But his speech itself, I thought that Roxane Gay, who's a writer, she put it really well. She tweeted about it, and she had said something first that was like, that joke was fucked up, and also like he should not have slapped Chris Rock. And then later she was like, this is horrifying to watch. This man is having a breakdown on stage. Which is what it felt like watching Will Smith. It was really uncomfortable. He's sobbing.
I mean,
right. He's talking, he's, as I said earlier, he ruined his own moment. This should have been a triumphant moment, no matter how I felt about whatever, like who deserved it. And it wasn't that, because he was too busy like having to apologize and like trying to justify his actions, which then looks bad. And now he's walked it back and apologized anyway. So like,
bingo. He should have just fucking left. I slapped him. Left. I'm walking. I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Have a good night.
And then he could have given a nice speech at the Vanity Fair party later as an acceptance speech. That would have been fine. And instead he went up there and had this breakdown, and it was like so uncomfortable to watch and heartbreaking, to be honest. Like, you just wanted Jada to be like, let's go, honey. It's time to go home. Like, it just was kind of awful to watch. And then when he started making comments about being a vessel of love, and God wants this of me, and God wanted me here, and Denzel said, when you're at your highest, that's when
Denzel's
the devil
like,
comes for you.
Don't put my fucking
it's
name
just
in
like,
this,
I'm really
I'm good. I'm
like,
good, dude.
If
I'm
you're
just sitting
someone
here.
who's like, I've stayed strong through all of like the challenges in my life because of my faith in God, because of my support of, the love of Jesus Christ, whatever. I can like, I get it, whatever. I don't vibe with that, but like, I get it. But when you start using the devil and God to excuse your behavior, you can fuck right off. No one made you do that. The devil didn't fucking make you do that. You did that.
You're just
and I
being an asshole.
Fucking hate when people use God and the devil and sin and Jesus to excuse their behavior or to credit it. I also hate when athletes are like, thank you, Jesus, without you, like, I never would have gotten here. I'm like, what? Like, you worked hard. You worked hard to get there. Like, give yourself some credit. You know, it's not, you didn't magically appear there by some magical dude in the clouds. You know, if your faith in God, if you're, you know, feeling the love of Jesus in your heart helped keep you going and help sustain you and support you as you like did this amazing thing, like, fine. But like to act like, because I feel like that almost implies like, well, they lost because God didn't love them enough. Like, fuck off. So in the same way, it's like, the devil didn't make you do this. You did this. You did this. It was
should just slapped him and left. Come on, Jada, we're getting the fuck
fine.
out of here. We're leaving.
Yeah.
Make a stance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so,
2 more to go.
2 more to go.
No, 3
but,
more.
but
Sorry. Time to talk about our girl who is, even if not the best dressed, she's the best overall dressed for red carpet, after party, every second of this movie that won her the award, and just a lovely human being. Jessica Chastain and her win, which we have alluded to already, but we can
if
walk
not
through
outright talked about
the nominees for actress in a leading role: Jessica Chastain, The Eyes of Tammy Faye; Olivia Colman, The Lost Daughter; Penelope Cruz, Parallel Mothers; Nicole Kidman, Being the Ricardos; and Kristen Stewart, Spencer. So full disclosure.
Yeah, this was a tough one for us because we haven't seen...
We only watched 2 of these.
2? I thought it was 3.
2. Because we did not watch
shit,
The
you're
Lost
right.
Daughter.
It was only 2. Yeah.
The Lost Daughter we had every intention of watching, but my parents said it was really weird and depressing, so I think we weren't like excited for it.
We probably still like it though.
I think we'll still watch
That's my
it.
inclination is we'll
Yeah,
get
I
more
think
value out of
also-
it than them.
For me, I love Olivia Colman, but I prefer Olivia Colman in like more comedic roles. Like I really like her in Fleabag. And I was not happy with her Oscar win, and she's already fucking won like 3 years ago.
Did she win for The Favorite?
Yeah, she won.
I mean,
because she split the fucking vote.
Think that was a...
Glenn Close and Lady Gaga both gave better performances that year.
Well, that was A Star Is Born.
Yes,
for Gaga.
Gaga
I think,
was.
Look, I agree with that.
incredible.
I didn't see. I don't even know what Glenn Close is in, but I didn't see her in that movie.
The wife.
I didn't see the movie.
Oh, it's a great, oh wait, you'd like that.
But
We should watch The Wife.
in Olivia
It's great.
Colman's defense, I think that's not a 1,000% serious role either.
No, that's fair. That's fair. No, I wasn't saying that. I was
Yeah.
just saying this role. She in The Lost Daughter is very much a serious role. And
but then you were
what
railing
I've
against the
seen
previous
her
one. I was
in-
just like, and these are different kind of things.
I'm thinking more of Fleabag versus The Crown. I very much preferred her in Fleabag than The Crown. She's fine in The Crown. It's fine. But it didn't get me like hyped for this. I also just fucking hate Dakota Johnson and her weird like insistence.
But she's going to be Madam Web.
Her weird insistence on
Come on,
defending.
Andrew's hyped. Look at him. Andrew's fucking
toxic.
What's her face is going to be in
excited for
it?
it.
Toxic,
That Euphoria
abusive
person's gonna
men.
be
Oh,
in it.
Sydney Sweeney's going to be in it too. Yeah,
I have mixed feelings on
she's going to
Sydney
be playing
Sweeney.
Madam Web.
Madam
Anyway.
Web?
Anyway, I
shit
didn't
up.
like the favorite.
Just like Sony.
So, but I was mad at Olivia Colman because it felt like she gave a great speech though. But she just did something like whatever. I think I would like to see Parallel Mothers because I've heard good things about it. But it's also one of those ones I think we talked about this where I'm like the Academy just fucking loves Penelope Cruz, and so I don't know if it's that they love her or if it's a great like I gotta watch it and I need to see it. But it never felt like she was gonna win.
Well, and it's one of those, and I think there are some more, really in this category more than others. Like, there's a lot of acting nominations in this category that were not nominated
for Best
anything
Picture,
else.
for anything else. Yes. Kristen Stewart for Spencer.
Spencer
got
Eyes
nothing.
of Jessica Chastain, Eyes of Tammy. I guess they make them hairstyling, so there's 2, but very limited.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And I think with Kristen Stewart and Spencer, I was intrigued at times, but I was never truly excited for that movie. And here's why. Number one, this is an iconic figure. One of my earliest living memories is finding out that Princess Diana died. Like, that is, I was so young, like 3, 4, whatever. Like, I remember that. And I think having, quite frankly, an American play that role, like, just, I question it. But I think also having just watched The Crown, where Emma Corrin played Princess Diana, and they were just so fucking good. They just really captured while also giving their own kind of nuanced performance. And so to like so quickly after that groundbreaking Emmy-winning performance have Kristen Stewart. And I don't think this isn't a judgment on Kristen Stewart. I think Kristen Stewart's a great actress. I think she's awesome. I really like her.
She wore shorts to the Oscars as well.
She did, which I didn't love because it didn't feel formal enough. But she looked great. And it was bold. I mean, she's the one who didn't. She took her shoes off at Cannes. Cannes? How fuck? Whatever.
She's also
No,
what
it's not
2003's
Cannes. It's not Cannes.
MTV Kiss of the Year.
Okay, sure.
Is that right?
With the Batman?
But anyway, I really like her. But I just it felt too soon. And also then I heard it was a horror film, like set up like a horror film. And I was like, I don't need this. And even that one clip they played, I was like, oh, this is not good. I'd rather have Emma Corrin do this.
Oh, wait. Kristen Stewart, not Kristen Dunst.
Kirsten.
Oh, I thought we were going with Twilight. That's why I made
Right.
Batman.
Stewart. I'm sorry.
2003 didn't make sense. Kirsten.
I didn't hear the
versus
year.
Kristen.
I didn't hear the year in my
Kirsten
defense,
Dunst
okay?
versus-
I didn't hear the year.
I was very confused. Anyway, yeah, so this was just like a different... This is kind of what I was talking about with that Willem Dafoe role, where it was like, I didn't feel a huge urge to watch something where it was just for... I never watched Judy, Renee Zellweger, because it wasn't nominated for anything else. Billie Holiday.
Yeah, Billie Holiday. That's what I was just
versus
going to say.
Billie Holiday. Yep. Like, all these movies where if there's one nomination, it's for a performance, like, that's not going to convince me to watch it. Except Jessica Chastain in the Eyes of Tammy Faye. She was fucking fantastic. She was so fucking good. She like brought personality to this character that's so weird and like not human. She made her so human and made me like feel compassion toward her, and just her performance was just so fucking good. She was great. The movie was very entertaining. I liked it even more than I thought I would. Andrew Garfield was fucking great in it. Andrew Garfield gave 3 excellent performances last year.
Of which Tick Tick Boom was his best.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, he just had a great fucking year in it.
Crushed it.
Should
He
have
won the
ended in
year.
an Oscar.
Here we're going to retroactively hand out the Who Won the Year award. Andrew Garfield
Andrew
did.
Garfield,
He won
Entertainer
it.
of the Year. But anyway, yeah, Jessica Chastain, a queen, an angel, humble, beautiful, dedicated parts of her speech to like the LGBTQ community and just compassion and love, and she looked fucking fantastic doing it, and she's just great, and I love her. And please give me a movie that's Amy Adams and Jessica Chastain.
Oh,
I want it. I want
yeah,
it.
so do I.
Anyway, Jessica Chastain, great. What's next? Directing.
Well, hold on.
oh.
Pump the brakes. We need to have a moment here to talk about. Let me check my sheet here. Yes, we need to talk about Zack Snyder.
No,
because
not yet.
not yet. What are you talking about?
Zack Snyder? What
We're talking
All
about
right.
Best Director.
All right, so-
What better opportunity to talk about Zack Snyder than now?
Before we get to directing and Best Picture, because we want to end on a high note, let's talk about the weird fucking moments of this Oscar. And before you get to your Zack Snyder bit, I'm going to rant. Because here's my thing about the Oscars. This year, they decided we're going to switch it up, make things different, try to get people who never watched before interested. Andrew, as someone who never fucking watches the Oscars, is there anything they changed this year that made you want to watch?
Do you even know what they changed?
Did you hear anything about changes?
No. It seemed
Correct.
pretty.
Because here's the thing. The people who don't like to watch the Oscars aren't going to watch the Oscars. And the people who do watch the Oscars are still going to watch them, but they're going to be fucking pissed that you made these changes. So, here are the things they changed it. Doing great. Here are the things they changed. They gave out these awards pre-ceremony, but then still showed clips of the speeches and shit. So you just missed that magic of people finding out they won.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
weird.
oh,
That's
that
strange.
long amount of time they take walking up to the fucking stage. Okay. They also went from no hosts to 3, which is overkill. Now, don't get me wrong. They have had good years where they have had more than one host. A weird one, James Franco, Anne Hath. Or no, not James Franco. Oh, my God. My brain.
I don't even know who it was.
My brain. I am sorry. I am distracted by Obi
Jake
making
Gyllenhaal.
noise. Please stop.
Starts
Not
with
Jake
a J.
Gyllenhaal. It's Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway.
Hugh Jackman. Is that right?
Hold on. Now I'm confused. Hold on. No, it was James Franco and Anne Hathaway who hosted, but Hugh Jackman and Anne Hathaway did an opening number? Like they sang? Okay, this is why I'm confused.
Riff kind of thing?
It might have been that year?
I feel like it should have been that year. If
No,
not.
it wasn't. I
Well,
think it was before
whatever,
that.
man. Well, maybe they were hyping
It was great.
the
Listen,
release
This
of
is
it,
what you
you
love
know?
about the Oscars. The chaos, the like stardom, whatever.
The
And this
slaps.
year they were
No,
like,
we're
let's
done
do
with that.
some
Oh,
like
oh.
3 washed up comedian actresses and have them all fucking host. Come on. I have never liked Wanda Sykes. I'm sorry. She's not fucking funny. I appreciate that she's like done things in her field and has had this success. She doesn't do it for me. I fucking love Regina Hall. I think she's great. Amy Schumer is really hit or miss for me. I really liked Trainwreck. I've liked certain things she's done. Other shit, I'm like, just shut the fuck up. You're so annoying. And that's kind of what this was. We had things that were like, you're annoying, shut the fuck up. And other things where I was like, this is genuinely good. There were parts with Amy and Regina that were genuinely good. Wanda was not, like, ever good. But it was an interesting choice of the Academy to choose 3 hosts. Some of the other changes, in addition to the hosting thing and the pre-show whatever, is that they added things. So they were like, we can't present these awards. We got to shorten it. Can't be as long. But we're going to add 3 hosts, not 1, not 2, 3, who all have to fucking talk, who all have to have a fucking monologue. They're going to take up a bunch of time. Okay. We're also going to throw in a performance by a song that's not nominated. Because sure. We are also going to do 4 or 5 different reunions of sorts and tributes. So we're going to do, they did a tribute to James Bond, they did a reunion and tribute to Juno, a reunion and tribute to White Men Can't Jump, a reunion and tribute to Pulp Fiction, and a reunion and tribute to The Godfather.
No, I did see the White Men Can't
doing?
Jump. It was like they presented an award, right?
Right. But then they also, like, everybody stands up. They talk about White Man Can't Jump. They play a clip. Like, come, pick one. Pick fucking one. We did not need all of this. Listen, Elliot Page making his debut presenting an award was fucking awesome. But, like, why did we need this, like, reunion? And it was Jennifer Garner? Like, why do we care about Jennifer Garner? Like, I don't know. I guess she was just in like the Adam Project. Like just do JK and Elliot. Like we don't need whatever. But we didn't need all of them. Like they were kind of fun, but we didn't need all of them. We did not need all of them. And then remember a few years ago when they were like, we're going to add a category for the best popular film. And people were like, fuck you.
For the best what film?
Popular film?
Oh, okay.
As voted on by Twitter?
Well, so when they were going to do the popular film a few years ago, it was just going to be a category. But it was just going to be like, it had to make a certain amount of money to be nominated.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And people were like, this is fucked. Don't do this. So they didn't. But they were like, let's do a riff on that. So they did, what did they pick? They did the most chills-inducing moments.
There was 2 separate things.
Yeah,
there
one was the most chills-inducing.
like hype-inducing, chills-inducing, whatever the fuck they
of
framed
all
it as.
time.
Yeah, so it was.
And then the second one
still mostly recent films, but
was the best moments, or the best movies.
I think it was like the best of the past year.
So
as voted on by fans.
So let's talk about the moments first.
Let's talk about the moments. Well, before we get in the moments, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. It's Andrew's hair. He's going full White Devil from Ace Ventura When Nature Calls right now on one side. Anyway, shout out to him. That's my best moment of this particular episode of the podcast.
The longer we go, the crazier it gets.
It was very funny. I should have taken a screen cap of you is what I should have done, but I didn't. I missed my chance. But yes. Yeah.
Anyway, so number 5.
So yes, hype moments. Do you remember them in order?
I do. I remember some of them. So number 5 was Neo dodging bullets in the Matrix.
Yes, the Matrix, classic.
Which,
classic
okay,
moment.
cool, but is that chills inducing?
Maybe.
Okay.
If you're a huge Matrix fan, sure.
And then another one was Avengers Assemble.
That was number 3. Number 4 was Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, Jennifer Hudson. I'm telling you, I'm not going from Dreamgirls.
Which I haven't seen.
Which is great. I don't know if children do whatever. And then 3 was Avengers Assemble. 2 was the 3 Spider-Mans in No Way Home swinging around.
Number 1, though.
Number 1.
Are
you ready for this, Andrew?
The number 1 chill-inducing moment of
you-
all film history.
Can you... I want to see...
Who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
I talk first, always. Can you guess what it is?
The number 1 chill-inducing moment of all of film history.
As
Yes.
voted on by fans.
So keep
as
in mind...
brigaded
This is Twitter.
By
Twitter.
fans on Twitter.
By Twitter fans.
Most likely. But so number 5 was Matrix, dodging bullets. Number 4 was Jennifer Hudson and Dreamgirls. Number 3 was Avengers Assemble and Endgame. Number 2 was the 3 Spideys in No Way Home. What do you think number 1 was?
I'm going to throw you a bone.
I just want to see if he has any
it's a
guesses.
film.
No, I want to see if he has any guesses. It's a film you've seen.
It's a film that you've seen. Yes. Okay, fine. I'll leave it at that.
Can you guess?
I have no idea.
It's a film that came out last year.
Sort of.
Not in
It's a
theaters.
film that came out last year? Like of all
Sort of.
time? Like
Sort
that's
of.
Sort of.
You might have seen it before last year, but you saw it in a different form last year.
Shit, I don't know. What is it? What's the
It's
moment?
a moment from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
There needs to be no moment in Justice
What do you think?
League.
What do you think the moment was?
Is it when Flash grabbed a hot dog in slow motion? Is it?
He was so close. He was right there. He was right there.
That would have been better. No, it was when
The Flash enters the Speed Force, you fucking idiot. You don't remember that most hype moment from Zack Snyder's Justice League at the end when he travels back in time by entering the Speed Force, you fucking idiot. Like,
It didn't involve the Flash, though. It's pretty close.
you were, I actually, for a
thought you
split
were gonna
second
say
thought
it.
you were
I
going
thought
to
you were
nail
gonna
it. I was
say
just
it.
like, I'm actually impressed because that's a 5,000 hour long film. And 4,000 hours of that is all slow-mo, as we all know. And indeed, this moment is one of the 4,000 hours of slow-mo in which he enters the Speed Force
And
for 30 minutes.
It's the last portion of slow mo. It's the last bit of slow mo you get.
It is the last bit of slow-mo you get, the last 1,000 hours of it. Indeed. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Real
That's
good
so
stuff.
Stupid.
So anyway, most hype moment of all time. Ezra Miller's
so then the other.
Flash.
We should note that Ezra Miller was not present, nor were they present at the Fantastic Beasts premiere over the weekend because they were arrested in Hawaii. First for grabbing a microphone from a woman and yelling at her at a karaoke bar, and then for breaking into the bedroom of the Airbnb host they were staying with and stealing one of their hosts' passports and wallets.
They weren't arrested for that.
Oh,
But
I'm sorry. Oh,
a restraining order was
has
filed
been-
against them
Yes.
for the latter incident.
So hold on a second. What did
we got to break this one
We-
down. That's
yeah.
fair.
Do we? Ezra Miller, history of being a shithead. They previously, outside a bar in some European country, choked out a woman
Chokeslammed.
and slammed her to the ground. Yeah, choke slammed her. Nothing happened to them after that. They continued to be in The Flash and in
Fantastic
Beasts, which
2
is
and 3.
just-
choke slammed? Like wrestling
Yes,
move
like-
choke slam?
Yes.
But effectively, yes.
Pretty much.
Effectively,
yes. Assaulted a woman. And
Yeah,
then
sometimes that's considered a crime
in
in most
and
countries.
then in Hawaii this past weekend they assaulted this woman at a karaoke bar and then their hosts, so they suck. Anyway, what were the top 5 films? I don't remember. I only remember number 1. Can you look it up real quick?
Yeah, we got to
Colton's gonna look
do
it
it
up
justice.
because you really need the other 4 to get the full effect.
You're not ready for number one.
You're not ready for
I
number
promise
one,
you.
and I'm going to announce number one.
I can't believe the best they could come up with is
Well, it's no. So here's
fucking
the thing you have
Zack
to
Snyder's
understand. This
Justice
is just
League.
Twitter fanboys trolling the Oscars.
There's it's
That's
just you
all it
can
was.
vote as much as you
It was
want
very
if you're
stupid
willing
for them
to
do
go to
this.
those lengths.
Ow, Obi.
Fan favorite movie. This is
Fan
the category.
favorite movie. All right, you ready for number 5?
Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I have the full
fan
list in
favorite
front of me.
movie. Number 5.
Tick, tick, boom.
Good call.
Okay,
Good
great
call. Agree with that.
Okay.
Number 4, Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay. All
Another
right.
good
All right.
one.
We're doing great. Everything's
So
great here.
these
What could go wrong?
are fan
These are
fan
the
favorite films of
movie
this year.
Of
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
2021.
Okay.
And then we have where it really goes off the rail. Number 3, Minamata.
What is that film? I'm sure
Min-
Andrew could not answer this
Any
question.
ideas?
Minamata?
Minamata.
I don't know what Minamata is.
All you need to know is it's a Johnny Depp film
What?
that came out last year. And so his fanboys took over Twitter and
Who
awarded
are staunch defenders?
staunch defenders. Even though I will remind everyone that he sent a text message to his friend Paul Bettany. Now, don't get me wrong. Amber Heard, abusive piece of shit. But Johnny Depp sent a text message to Paul Bettany that said, I want to fuck her corpse. So
Totally
this is
normal,
another one of those
apparently.
fun situations
if
where
you're a fan of Johnny Depp,
everybody
that's-
sucks here.
Everyone sends those texts
Everybody
apparently.
sucks here.
So
Everybody sucks here.
anyway,
Number 2.
number 2.
I'm going to let Colton take this one because he fucking called this one as it was happening.
Well, this is the one because they announced early before the
you already
Oscars
knew,
actually aired
guys.
that they announced the standings as they stood, and number 1 at that time, and it eventually slid to number 2. Unfortunately, Amazon's Cinderella, starring Camila Cabello.
I think it is Camila.
Camila Cabello.
Amazon's what? Who?
Exactly. Cinderella.
Oh, Cinderella. Okay.
More
Billy Porter.
importantly, it's got James Corden in it. You
As a
know,
mouse.
he's just one of the best. So
Anyway,
also has Billy
here
Porter.
we go.
You know,
Are
so.
you ready? Don't look it up, Andrew. Andrew,
Number
look at
1.
me. Andrew,
No.
look at me.
I'm
Andrew,
just
look
looking
at
up
me.
Cinderella. That's Cinderella?
That shit.
Yes, that's the one.
What do you
number
think
2?
number 1 was, Andrew? The number 1 movie.
Number 1
fan favorite movie.
fan
of
favorite film of
2021.
all time. Well, just
No,
2021.
2021.
If
2021 of all
if
time.
the most bone-chilling moment in film history is Zack Snyder's Justice League Flash entering the Speed Force at the end of the movie, then the number 1 film has to be Zack Snyder's Justice League.
You're so
black and white edition.
close.
You're
so
that's an inspired guess.
It is.
It's an
You're
inspired
so
guess. You're so close.
close.
You're so
Do you
close.
have another guess?
You're so
It's
close.
not, it's
Have-
not Zack Snyder's Man
Well,
of Steel.
it is
it?
Zack Snyder something.
It's Zack Snyder's
Batman
continue
vs
the-
Superman.
No, from 2021.
2021. He actually put out another film in 2021 that we didn't watch.
Besides the black and white one,
Besides the black and white one, it came out on Netflix.
Are you ready for this?
what is this?
Netflix?
Army of the Dead.
The Netflix thing?
Oh yeah. Maybe you did watch it. Did you watch that?
No, I never watched that. It looked like shit.
Watch that. Yeah.
Well, it's the fan favorite of 2021. So
This is the
you don't
one
know
that
what
had
you're
Wonder
fucking
Woman
talking about.
Zombie. I do remember Wonder Woman Zombie.
I don't even know
I
what that
didn't know
means,
that.
but sure.
Okay.
All they showed at the Oscars was a clip of a helicopter falling for about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
And Tig Notaro.
And Tig Notaro CG'd over what's his
How
face.
is that? How is that the number 1 film?
Because Zack Snyder fanboys
trolling on
are
Twitter.
out in full force.
Yeah.
They were out in full
They don't
force.
have lives.
And they like Zack Snyder films, which justifies their entire existence. I mean, it just...
That's
if
absurd.
you like his films that much, that's your personality.
marry him?
That's their personality, effectively. Is so. Honestly, nothing about this surprises me. I laughed both times.
Yeah, we did. We laughed real
mean-
hard. I was entertained.
I'm not even mad about it because everyone knew this was coming. Like, of course, if you're gonna fucking open,
I just can't believe we wasted time on it.
if
of
you're
the broadcast.
right, if you're gonna open up voting to the masses, like, it's the same thing as Bodie McBoatface. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you know, maybe it was Norway or something
You're
like that.
living under a rock. It was the UK.
Is it UK? Yeah, they opened up fan voting to like, we're going to name this fucking ship. And everyone voted for Bodie McBoatface because, of course, you'd vote for Bodie McBoatface. Like, why would you not?
Anyway, all of these efforts to shorten the ceremony and make
Backfired.
it, made more people want to watch
backfired.
it. To be fair, more people did watch it, but last year was a historic low.
And it was also a weird Steven Soderbergh directed intimate affair.
Last year was weird.
It was a weird
Anyway.
one. Like, it doesn't even count, I feel like.
All these efforts to shorten the ceremony, keep it 8 to 11. Guess what time it ended?
What time did it end?
3:47 a.m.
No, it didn't.
Oh.
That's a lie.
Oh my gosh.
11:40. 11:40. 40 minutes late.
Jeez.
Why don't they just fucking make it 8 to midnight?
They'd be fine. They'd be
Just
fine.
do it 8 to midnight.
They might even finish early.
Don't put dumb fucking shit in here. Yeah.
They'd be done at like 11:30 probably.
Bullshit.
So anyway, now that we've talked about the bullshit, let's talk about the good things.
All right, let's finish with the strong
'Cause we did
things,
have
and
a
then
couple
let's
good
wrap
things.
this bad boy up. So, best director.
Denis Villeneuve. I'm
this
sorry.
is a
I'm
really
so
important
sorry.
moment in the podcast. I
I'm
think
so
that
sorry.
we've been
Denis
intentionally and unintentionally fucking the man's name up for a long time.
What did we decide?
I think
Villeneuve.
so. What Andrew? Well, there's two versions that Andrew and I have been rolling with for a while. There's
Denis Villeneuve.
No, that's not one of them. It's just let me speak. We've been going with Denis Villeneuve as the official pronunciation, and we've been going with Denis Villeneuve as the unofficial pronunciation. And it turns out neither of those are correct.
Oh, no way. I thought, oh, man.
So I'm going to take my best crack at it. We'll see if I get it right, and I can correct me and tinker with it as necessary. From what I heard from a lot of people crediting this man,
To be fair,
because he wasn't actually nominated for Best Director, and we'll get into that momentarily. I think that it's Denis Villeneuve.
Yes, I would agree. Denis Villeneuve.
So you get
is what
the
I would
L's in
agree.
there. The
Right,
L's are
and I have
important.
said for years, the L's go in there. We
My
got
problem-
in a fight. We got in a literal fight at your old apartment because I was like, if it's French, you say the L's.
Okay, I took,
got in a literal
like
fucking
4 to
fight.
6 weeks of French when it was part of the wheel.
I
and
took
fucking Pints in middle
7
school.
years.
And I took nothing but Spanish. So if I see 2 L's, it's
You say
a
Y.
Y sound. It's a Y sound. That's it.
Vienna.
So I don't know French. French are weird, man. I don't know what they're doing, but it's not Spanish, so it's different. So it's weird, I guess. I don't know. I'm
Well,
sure they're
do you want to know how you'd say it in Latin?
fine. I would love to know how it's said in Latin.
Well, the V's would be said like
The V's? The
W's.
L's.
W's.
The V's would be.
Mm-hmm.
So how would that?
Villeneuve.
Denny will.
I don't know how that U and E and U would happen. That doesn't really happen in Latin.
Yeah. I don't think it's a very Latin name.
It's not.
So
it's a yeah.
So
anyway,
yeah. Let's talk.
he didn't
Should we talk about Denis?
This is
Well,
the
he didn't
biggest
win
snub
'cause he wasn't fucking
This
nominated.
is a huge fucking snub.
How is he not nominated?
Nonsense.
Like, how is he not
Nonsense to
nominated
not be
by
nominated.
default? Like, okay,
And
you're
instead, they were like, let's nominate
Everything
the
about
guy.
Dune in a technical manner is perfect.
Right.
We're going to vote for
Here's the
everything
thing.
else, but fuck this guy.
Here's the thing.
The guy that
nominated
put it all together.
people- 2 people that absolutely should not have been nominated over him. 1, Steven Spielberg, but just because they fucking love Steven Spielberg. Here's my thing about West Side Story. It's a fucking stage show for half a century. It's been a fucking movie. Everybody's fucking seen it. Do something different with it. And it's beautiful.
Hey.
Well acted.
Hey.
It's gorgeous. Good performances. He didn't fucking do anything
Wanna know a secret?
different.
It's also been a stage show for a lot longer than that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He's making a
'Cause it was-
joke because it's Romeo and Juliet.
I was gonna say that.
Except it's not because Maria lives.
It's a riff on a stage show.
A riff.
That's a riff.
A riff.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
riff.
It's a little West Side Story. funny for everyone
Little
listening.
humor for you. Anyway, Steven Spielberg. Fine. A main character's name is Riff. Anyway.
Okay.
Whatever. But also Paul Thomas Anderson, who, here's the thing, beautifully directed film. We said this, beautifully made. But when it comes down to it, is a director who also wrote it and said, let's make a movie where the central premise is that a 15-year-old boy is pursuing a 25 or 28-year-old woman who's like, yeah, maybe I'll be his girlfriend. That's the fucking premise.
Well, and that's
it's
the problem.
fucking creepy. And also, he doubled down on, not one, but two extremely fucking racist scenes, which I will also note, against Asian women. And we are just coming off of 1 year since a group of Asian women were fucking massacred. So, fuck you, Paul Thomas Anderson. I have appreciated your music videos. I have appreciated your films. I appreciate the good things about this movie. But fuck you. Fuck you for your racist shit, for your... Say the word again, Colton. Creepy, not pedophilia.
Pedophilia.
Inappropriate shit.
Well,
And then doubling fucking down on it.
Well,
Fuck you, PTA.
Man,
Fucking learn from your shit, you dumb bitch.
and this isn't like that. Sarah watched a show last
The teacher one with Kate Mara.
Yeah,
Oh.
That was fucked up too. I mean, she raped him. That's rape. But a little not different. No, different authority. Still fucked. But in that movie at least, or in that show at least at the end, he's like, you fucked me up. You
fucked me up.
traumatized me.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's the problem.
This
is that
movie never has
this movie doesn't
that moment.
indict the behavior being depicted.
Does it not get there? Like, could it get there?
It
like,
ends with them
eventually?
kissing, her saying,
Nah,
I love
it-
you, and they run off into the
pretty
distance
definitively
together.
ends in a way that
They're
depicts it in a
together.
positive light. And I think that's its
That's
fundamental
its fatal
failing. Yeah, is that it could? It's not.
Like it
I'm
could
not
be
gonna
okay.
say-
Like
I'm
there's
not
no
going to say that
problems.
any subject is like taboo or anything like that. I mean, I question you if you're starting with this premise. You know what I mean? But
Right.
like, there's a way to do it and address it head on and think.
Because there was
like,
stuff we liked about this movie, and so it would have been nice if it didn't have this. We're people who have like moral compasses, and also I think maybe the legal part of our lives and like the amount of fucking like
we have legal
child
brain.
abuse
It's a
and
fact.
sexual abuse that I see in my job, but like. This is inappropriate. This is an inappropriate relationship. Now, if you have a 17-year-old and a 21-year-old, it's still inappropriate. You still have issues with consent and maturity
Question.
and power dynamics. But it's a little
Another
fucking
question.
closer than
Question.
15 and 25.
What's up?
Here's a question.
What's your question?
Now, could this movie be portraying all the wonderful things about this relationship and this and that, but does it portray it in a way for the audience to say, okay, even though the characters in this movie don't see a problem, is it portrayed in a way to where the audience can
No.
recognize the problem?
Because there are supporting
No.
characters that are very
Much
like they're like
saying,
encouraging.
Yeah, do it,
and,
go for
and
it.
all about it.
Yeah, no, there's no moral
The
compass.
only-
There's one
Okay,
moment
all right.
where, at the beginning, she's kind of like, I'm not going to go on a date with you.
Within the first 20 minutes, it's like, oh, this is weird and fucked up,
Right.
and then it just drops
that
it.
drops it. And there's
just
one
drops it.
other moment where she says to her older sister, is it weird that I'm hanging out with this 15-year-old and all his 15-year-old friends? And her older sister's like, no, it's not weird. And she's like, no, I think it's fucking weird. And then that's it. No mention again of it being weird.
You watch these movies. I try to play devil's advocate, but it doesn't seem like there's
No.
any there's
There's
no
no-
devil's advocate.
I think there's a way to navigate this space. Again, if you're so committed to making this movie that like you really want to tackle this premise head on, there's a way to do it.
Make him 17, make
There's a
her
way to
21,
do it. Even
22.
I agree with that as a way of making the movie as it is feel
Making
more
it
palatable.
conflicted, right?
But if you're tackling this 10-year age gap between a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old or 28-year-old,
Right. It's unclear how old she is.
you have to tackle it in a very specific way because that age gap goes far beyond the it's questionable and definitely illegal a little bit, but like
No, it's illegal and it's wrong, and there's a power dynamic, and it's 10 fucking years or 13.
it's just
It's creepy.
It's creepy, and it pervades the film as you watch it, and it sucks because PTA is a great director who's made amazing films, and this
Great music videos.
Has he said
I
anything
wanna-
on the record about the
Yes.
content of his
Yeah.
movie?
He has
And he's-
defended it, and he
it's
says
a
it's
real foot in the
okay
mouth kind of situation.
because he says they never cross any lines. He thinks it's okay because they don't have sex, even though it's heavily implied that after the end of the movie they do have sex.
Who wrote this movie?
Paul Thomas Anderson, the director.
yeah.
Yeah. And it sucks too because Alana Haim is fucking great. She's never acted before, and she's
Yeah.
fucking great.
Haim sisters are awesome. They're good in this. I mean, Alana is the only one that I think really has room to shine and
And their dad-
probably
their dad's
embrace.
fucking
Actually,
great.
that's true. You're right. But yeah, she's really good. She's really good. I hope that I hope that Haim makes a lot more music, obviously, but I hope that
She acts.
this gives Alana an opportunity to
be in better movies.
Yes, exactly. So anyway,
the other nominees.
The three deserving nominees were
Kenneth Branagh, my boy.
Uh-huh.
I love him so much for Belfast.
He's good. He's
great. And then we have Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, previously nominated for The Piano.
The Piano. Yep.
And then we have Colton's going to say this one.
Denny?
Let's see. That's still not Denny. He didn't get nominated. They didn't throw him in as a late night addition. Ryosuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car.
Mm-hmm. So I think for here, Drive My Car was really good, but I don't think it was at the same level for me in terms of directing. I think it was more story and performance driven for me. Directing for me really felt like Belfast and The Power of the Dog were kind of the standouts for me. And to be honest, for me, this was an easy one. It's Jane Campion, you know? I mean, I think I love Kenneth Branagh and like I'd want him to win just because I like him better. But I think quality-wise, like, it's Jane Campion. I mean, she did a great fucking job with this movie. And I think, it's gotten criticism for, the subtle gayness. No, it's open. It's great.
It's very
And then
gay.
also, like, it's not Montana. It's New Zealand. Yeah, but you believed it was Montana.
It's not like the other thing that you said was New Zealand, which I already forgot. But you said something else was obviously New Zealand.
Didn't I say this was?
Was it this one?
Yeah, for cinematography, I think.
Oh,
I was
okay.
saying I didn't want to win for cinematography.
All right, but directing,
And I
it's
thought it
okay.
was gonna win.
It's okay for directing.
It's fine for directing because I think you didn't care that it looked like New Zealand because the way she was telling the story, you didn't care. And
the mountain looked a little.
the one mountain was real. The one shot when he's driving through the mountains, he straight up looked like he was driving through fucking Rohan. And so that I was like, not. I was like, I said to you, I was like, I think this was New Zealand. And we looked it up and it was. But she just did a great job. And like, at least this time she read from her paper. She didn't say anything fucking stupid. She did a good job. She had a great dress.
She's deliberately read from her paper. She
Correct.
says, I'm not doing this again.
That, ladies and gentlemen, and other folks, is growth. She learned from her dumb mistake. And she grew.
Andrew, I don't know if you know this because I'm filling you in, and listeners if necessary.
Jane Campion, when she won the Best Director at BAFTAs?
Was it BAFTA?
BAFTA or not BAFTAs?
SAGs?
The Brits?
I don't
fucking know.
One
she
of the
won
other
it
ones.
somewhere. And she made some comment about, she was kind of talking about amazing women in the room, and she talked about Serena and Venus, and she was like, you are incredible, you are marvels, but like, you don't have to compete against the men like I do. Because typically men dominate the director category, and it's really fucking irritating. However, first of all, Venus and Serena have literally competed against men in different doubles competitions.
Oh, wow.
And they have absolutely competed against men for fame, esteem, praise, success, all of that. So it was just a really fucking stupid comment.
Ignorant.
Right. And so Jane Campion became the first woman to win while nominated twice. Like, she had been nominated more than once. So I think she was just straight up the first one. No, because I think Catherine Bigelow has been nominated twice, but won once.
Catherine Bigelow has definitely won at least once.
She was the first one to win.
She was the first one to win.
And then we had Chloe.
Chloe Zhao won last year.
And then Jane Campion won this year. But I think Jane Campion's the first one to win after having been nominated.
I don't know if Catherine Bigelow would have been nominated twice.
Was she not nominated for Zero Dark 30? She might not have been.
Maybe
just Golden Globes or something. I can't remember. But anyway,
because she won for the Hurt Locker.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But anyway, it was a great win. Jane Campion did a great job. Power of the Dog was really fucking good. Well deserved. I was fine with this. I was fine.
Yeah, I think it's directing involves so much, right? It's shepherding the production. It's getting the best performances out of your actors. And
It's
I
everything.
think The Power of the Dog is emblematic of kind of, I think, her win for The Power of the Dog, I think is emblematic of what it takes to be an effective director. And it's interesting because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think The Power of the Dog won a single other award at the Oscars.
It was nominated, but it didn't win.
It was nominated for a shit ton.
Wow, that's crazy because it was really fucking good.
I think this
That
is
makes
the
me
sole
upset a little.
award that it won was Best Director.
So I'm glad it won something.
And but I think this is a
it
great
was second
it's a
best
great
in a bunch of categories.
it's a great reflection of it because you got Benedict nominated an actor in a leading role. You've got Jesse Plemons and Cody Smith-McPhee nominated in Best Supporting Role or Actor in a Supporting Role. Kirsten Dunst nominated an actress in a supporting role. It's nominated for adapted screenplay. It's nominated for something else, cinematography. Like that might be it. Editing. It's nominated for a shit ton. Like none of that happens, I think, without like someone like Jane Campion
directing hand
to shepherd it. Like I said, and I think the same is true.
Would you say she drove the cattle?
She might have drove the cattle. The same is true of someone like Denis, who Dune would not be possible without Denis Villeneuve.
Good job, babe. Proud of you.
The Power of the Dog would not be possible without Jane Campion to make it happen, particularly in the way that it did. And I think you really did have some incredible performances in it. If Benedict won Best Actor, I think I would have been happy with it. I liked Andrew's performance better.
But
Don't get me wrong, but
content.
it was a great, amazing performance. Totally get it. Even if fucking Jesse Plemons or Cody Smith-McPhee won Actor in a Supporting Role. Look, as I stated on the Batman episode, I wanted Troy Kotsur to win Best Supporting Actor, but I would have been like, fine. I mean, neither of those performances were like my favorite, but like I get it. I get it at a certain point. Kirsten, same thing. I totally get it, and I get cinematography if it went that way. Even if it did look like Lord of the Rings. There's so many
one shot. It wasn't a dig.
Yeah,
Just one shot.
Well, I mean, and Lord of the Rings is a beautifully shot film, and we love Lord of the Rings. It's not an insult in any way, but I just think that like something like what it I think I'm glad that it got something that it got recognized for. With Jane Campion, and it feels like this was not a category for me that was stacked as it sometimes has been in years past. I think, I mean, some of it is certain things are stacked against it, like Licorice Pizza. Like obviously, like I can't get over what Licorice Pizza is. West Side Story is West Side Story. It's a West Side Story. There's nothing. It is what it is. Steven Spielberg did not reinvent that fucking musical into something radically different.
Could have made it something better, but he didn't.
And yeah. And then for like Belfast, I mean, I think Branagh did an amazing job with that. But I understand, like, you see the points where The Power of the Dog was nominated, and even though it didn't win those categories, it was nominated for a reason. It earned its nominations with all of those categories, and I think that, again, as we can track Dune's successes to Denis, we can track Power of the Dog's successes or apparent Oscar failures in terms of not winning to Jane Campion. Like the nominations, we can track to her. Like she brought it. She really did with The Power of the Dog. So Andrew, you should watch it. Just as a side.
I'm 10 minutes into it. It seems real good.
All right. Well, you need more time with it. Obviously, it's slow.
I thought you would have watched it. You'll like it.
It's slow.
It's a slow burn, but it's fucking worth it.
It's my kind of movie, though. I think
you'll need time to yourself, I suspect, to be able to enjoy it.
Oh,
there's no shade here. We
know her tastes.
It's a very particular thing. It's a slow burn Western.
I think she'd enjoy The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and I think you should watch that.
It's a slow burn Western, though. Like, that's not going to be to everyone's taste. I don't think that's disparaging in any way. Like,
I was joking.
No,
Colton,
it's is it a There Will Be Blood kind of movie?
Yeah, it's a There Will Be Blood kind of movie.
Yeah, that's definitely not for everybody.
That movie was about me.
So, anyway, one more.
One more, and then we'll be done.
Best Picture.
Let's read them off.
Well, yeah, let's go through the nominees.
Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune,
June.
King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story. Let's start from the bottom because I got thoughts. West Side Story, great musical, classic, Sondheim, great stuff. Like I said, it's been a fucking stage show forever.
It's
to
good.
make a movie worth being made, you got to switch something up. And I think in some ways this did that. It gave Rita Moreno this part, made it a Puerto Rican woman. It cast actual Puerto Ricans as Puerto Ricans instead of other people with brown face.
For you're talking about the new one?
Yes.
You said Rita Moreno for this one.
Yeah, they cast Rita Moreno in a part that had been a white man, and now it's a Puerto Rican woman.
Reinventing that role. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Carry on.
Yeah, no. I meant Rita Moreno.
Yeah.
Giving her the biggest song in the movie and making it great. It was perfect for that. But I think there's a couple of things. I think number one, speaking of creepy shit, you found this great talent in a 17-year-old girl who's fucking talented and amazing. And you picked a man who's 25 to act alongside her. It's fucking weird. And then for it to come out later.
It's a real licorice.
It's a whole lot of orgophilia.
Sort of situation.
And for later,
it's a lot of whatever Andrew's saying. He's making up words at this point.
Later
But
that
fuck it, man. He's right.
has this habit of, at worst, raping underage women, and at best, like treating underage women shitty in relationships he has with them as a grown adult. It just is a bad
at best
look.
It's just visiting his co-stars while they're in high school productions and checking them out and seeing how good. I mean,
he's a creep.
He's checking out their acting skills. Is what I mean by
he's
that.
Not that great.
Nothing else, of course.
So I think I just wanted more, in terms of some of the performances, and also in terms of modernizing it in other ways. I think it still felt very long. It still felt...
We took, 3 viewings?
3 days.
3 days to get through West Side Story.
Same fucking time it took to take the original.
It's boring.
It's the first fucking half is boring as shit.
That's true. The first half is extremely boring. The second half has momentum.
And I think there's a way to rearrange the songs, to shorten some of the songs, cut some of the songs, and make it a really tight, good movie. If people wanted to see West Side Story, the whole fucking show, they'd go to the stage show. Do something different. And this didn't do that. And I just think it had a lot more potential that it didn't do. Next up, Power of the Dog. We just talked about a lot. Great film. The subtlety in it, I think, is what made it kind of beautiful. And the kind of, after it ended, putting all these pieces together and realizing it. It just, some great performances and great directing, as we said. Next up is Nightmare Alley, which was great. I was surprised, kind of pleasantly surprised, that it was nominated for Best Picture, because I did think it was really good. And
they had to give Guillermo his due after The Shape of Water.
It was very good. I liked this better than The Shape of Water. I don't think Colton agreed with that, but
they're both good. They're not Del Toro's finest, but they're both very good.
Again, great performances. Kate Blanchett should have been nominated.
I don't think you get better than you don't get better than what's it called? Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah.
Still haven't seen it. It scares me. It's one of Colton's favorite movies, but I'm just freaked out by the eyeballs.
So good.
I don't like eyeballs. Can you tell? After Nightmare Alley, we've got Licorice Pizza. We've talked about it enough. After that, King Richard. This would have been a better movie if it was focused on Venus and Serena.
Yep.
Stop focusing on toxic men and trying to fix them or make them seem admirable or redemption. Fuck them. Dune, great fucking movie. I just don't think it had kind of the all-encompassing audience likability.
We're waiting for Dune Part 2.
Sure, yes, the more complete.
It's going to be the Return of the King of its time.
Yeah, maybe. Drive My Car was great, but as I said, really fucking weird with some weird fucking. Was never going to win Best Picture.
Yeah,
it was not
what is
Parasite.
This Drive My Car?
It didn't have the momentum in the same way that I think Parasite did, because Parasite won both international and Best Picture.
It also was 3 fucking hours long.
Well, look, if the Batman gets nominated for some fucking Oscars, I'm not going to be mad at the fact that it's almost 3 hours long. Now, to be fair, Drive My Car, I think.
Did it
technically exceed 3 hours? It may have.
I think the Batman also has a broader appeal.
Yes. Drive My Car is a weird fucking movie. I'm not going to lie to anyone listening. At this point, so fine. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Don't look up. A bad movie. A bad movie that has no business being nominated for Best Picture. This is the lone one that is a genuinely bad film.
As much as I don't think King Richard
just a fucking
is
Netflix movie.
Amazing, Don't
You
Look
can
Up is the
recognize
one
the good
film
stuff.
in this entire list, which is good. Usually, I think maybe there's like
A
2 or
couple.
3 where I'm just like, what the fuck are we doing
Yeah,
here?
no, Don't Look Up is bad.
And I guess Licorice Pizza is like in the ballpark too.
it could have been
but
good. You make one change.
It's a really well-made
one
movie
fucking
about a really
change.
fucking awful premise. Don't Look Up is a really not good
great
movie
idea.
about a good
Terrible
premise.
execution.
Yes.
Terrible execution.
Yes.
Bad movie.
It's the worst execution of any of
performances,
these
bad
films here.
writing.
It's the worst execution.
Yeah.
That's what holds it back.
Belfast, great fucking movie. I really do think Belfast was great.
You skipped one.
I did skip one. We're coming to it, but Belfast was great. Just great performances, great premise, great music, great story, great. It's all in black and white, but then with shots of color. Just really well done. Just a great movie.
It's cool.
Fucking
And
artistic,
finally,
man.
the winner, the Oscar goes to
The
for
Oscar
Best
goes
Picture,
to
Coda.
Coda.
Well deserved. A great fucking movie. I haven't talked to anyone who didn't like this movie. It was fucking great. Great, like, kind of debut in this category for Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus, whatever the fuck.
That's huge.
That's a big deal. It's great. The representation of deaf culture was great. The music in it is great. The story, just this relatable story of like a young woman who wants to break out and do something bigger than her small town and what her family does. It's a really
cool.
beautiful movie about familial love, but also like growing beyond it. It's just a really fucking great movie.
It's good.
And it's just so well deserved. Great performances across the board, except for the music teacher, who's real bad.
He's fine.
He was too
He's
much.
the weakest performance in a really strong cast.
Correct. Yeah,
it's fine.
Coda is fucking great. Highly recommend. Everyone will love this movie. It's fucking great. It's so good.
That's what.
It's what a
my-
Best Picture winner should be.
Yes, I'll concur with that, and I'll say that this is the only film, just looking down the Best Picture list, that is what I would consider a feel-good movie. And I'm not going to say that
too.
like that's like what should win Best Picture, because
But it's nice when it does.
like Parasite won, and it was not a feel-good movie.
And Green
No.
Book was a feel-good
No,
movie
by
that
no
won,
any stretch.
Green
but
Book-
it was really bad.
Is a feel-good movie that was bad. Yes, this is not that. It's not look at all the white people that have solved racism kind of movie. It's nothing like that. But it's a film that ultimately you can feel good about watching, and when you walk away with it, you're not thinking, "Fuck me, what did I just watch?" Or some variant of like, "Oh shit, that fucking was depressing." And I think that a lot of these films kind of fall into that category, and that's not necessarily bad. Like I said, see Parasite, and like Dune is not one that it hits on the same notes as some of the other ones do. But Coda ultimately, even if it's not, and I talked about this on the Batman episode, even if it's not the freshest story, it's just so well told, and it does it in a way that you've never seen before, and that's what makes it feel fresh. So
From a different perspective.
yeah.
Great Coda, great win, great cast, great everything.
Yes,
Love them.
Yes, yeah, great everything. Look, go to the timestamps on the Batman episode, find catching up with Colton on the episode description, and listen to my fuller thoughts there, because I kind of hit on this already. I don't need to say the same things over and over again. Coda's fucking great. I think it's a well-deserved Best Picture. I think there are a few films that if they won, I would have been happy with, and I'm really happy that Coda won. It was one of those few films that I think was really, really worthy of being in contention. And it's interesting because it's a film that wasn't nominated for a lot of acting awards or a lot of technical awards or anything like that. But it won Adapted Screenplay, it won Supporting Actor, and it won Best Picture. And in fact, I think it may have won every single award that it was up for, now that I look at it.
Did 3 for 3.
So yeah, 3 for 3. Not bad, huh? Pretty good, in fact.
Yeah.
So it's very good. And I think we did it. I think we talked about every single Oscar.
Sorry.
I think we talked about every single Academy Award. At the 94th Academy Awards, we
Wait.
talked so much.
There's
At the
one.
94th
goodness.
There's
Academy
one we missed.
Awards.
At the Governor's Awards or whatever beforehand, the Lifetime Achievement Award, one of the recipients, Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations to him. Has appeared in more than 150, at least 150 films.
That's pretty
in his
incredible,
career,
actually.
and has given incredible performances, just a wide variety,
Badass
iconic
actor.
performances. He's fucking awesome. Well deserved. Go Samuel L. Jackson. Fuck yeah.
Bamf. That's what's inscribed on his lightsaber, for those that don't know.
He's a badass motherfucker. I'm sorry, motherfucker. Sorry.
Badass
Excuse my
motherfucker.
mistake. Anyway.
All
right.
right.
I think it's time to take it out.
that does it for this far longer than anticipated episode on
Andrew, next
the
year
94th
you got to watch
Academy
all the
Awards.
nominees, and then it'll be even longer when we talk about it.
We'll find out. We won't be explaining how the Oscars are decided, so we'll skip that 5-minute segment. So we'll be down to 4 hours and 5 minutes instead of 4 hours and 10 minutes.
There we go.
Perfect. Nailed it. All right. I think thank you
It's
all
time.
for hanging out with us for however long this ended up being. I don't even know. I truly do not even know right now. But
Sorry,
but
I
I'll
do
figure it
this.
out in the edit. And thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please spread the word. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/watchreviewrepeat. If you are one of those poor souls that wants to just listen to us all the time, you can get early access to all of our regular episodes, as well as timed exclusive access to all of our bonus episodes. Our website is watchreviewrepeat.com. You can get links to all of our social media accounts there. We're on Twitter at WRRPod. We are on Facebook if you search for Watch Review Repeat. We are on Instagram now at Watch Review Repeat as well. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, send those our way. watchreviewrepeat@gmail.com. Be happy to talk about whatever you've been up to on a future edition of the Listener's Corner. Our intro and outro track, It's Mechanolith by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. Before we move on and talk about what we're going to do next, I want to say a very, 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 very big thank you to Anna Mattis for
Absolutely.
talking all things Oscars with us. This is absolutely the most in-depth we've gone on any Academy
Oscar
Awards,
episode,
Oscars.
yeah, for sure.
It's the first time we've ever done an Oscars episode of this nature. But hey, can you tell that she cares or something? So
do.
so thank you a lot for hanging out with
It's
us and
almost
having a
like
good time with us.
We're a good match. It's almost like we both love movies quite a bit. So
It does.
There
does
will
turn
be
out that way.
a concerted effort on my part to watch the same things to have a more in-depth conversation on all
fuck
things
yeah.
Oscars next year. So
Can't wait.
Hey, and you know what? You watched Tick Tick Boom recently. You can catch up
I did.
slowly but surely. You know, we can have some future catching ups and talking
I
about
watched
these
that
things.
animated film that wasn't nominated for short. That animated short film about the raccoons. It's fucked
so
up.
cute.
It wasn't
It was
nominated.
fucking, it was fucking good,
So
man.
cute.
Wasn't even nominated. Fucking bullshit. Same thing with
Anyway.
Denny. Fucking bullshit, man.
You gonna
I watched
preview
stuff.
your
I
next-
watched good things last year that weren't nominated. I don't understand
It's
it.
fucking
So
bullshit, man. That's what it is.
bullshit.
So you're gonna preview the next 2 episodes?
Yes. So what we're going to do the next 2 episodes, we are going to turn our attention to Turning Red, the next film from Pixar, which has been on Disney Plus for a little while, certainly a little while as of the release of this episode, and we're going to talk about it. I'm looking forward to our conversation on that.
Yeah.
And after that, we didn't really do like news on this episode because we're just doing the Oscars. Taylor Hawkins, the drummer in the Foo Fighters, died, and it fucking sucks. I mean, it's a really, really awful thing that's happened. He's 50 years old, and so Studio 666 is a movie that the Foo Fighters did. It's just one of those things that the Foo Fighters do when they're just having fun, and they just let's just make a fucking horror movie. And so it's now out on video on demand. Andrew's seen it. Anna and myself have not seen it. But we're going to watch it, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to do I guess you could say a bonus episodes of sorts. It's just going to be, we're just going to do no bullshit. We're going to talk about the Foo Fighters. We're going to talk about Studio 666, and we're going to have fun, and celebrate Taylor's life and his legacy contributing to Foo Fighters. And so that's kind of
My
what we have on
childhood.
tap.
He contributed to my childhood. I know that.
Absolutely. I mean, Foo have been around for multiple decades
My whole life.
at this point. Yeah,
Basically.
yeah,
I will,
effectively
all my life.
all of our
someone would
lives.
say.
All my life.
all our life. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
I would also say
It's a
that
huge
this
loss.
little
Yes.
preamble used to piss me off because for some reason Foo Fighters were like the alarm on every morning when I woke up on 97X. They would always play the same fucking song every morning,
What song?
and it was
best
it
of
was,
you.
yes. Yes, it's exactly what it was. So we're getting the best, the best, the best, the best, the best. And it's like, fuck you, Foo. And I'd fucking hit my alarm clock. I hated that shit for so long.
Now every time you hear that song, you're like triggered. You're like,
I've got another confession.
Yes. It's taken a long departure for me to appreciate that song. But
Hey, you know, there are other Foo songs to appreciate above Best of You
yes,
as well.
absolutely.
So anyway, we're just gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have a fun time talking about Foo Fighters and Studio
And I'll be
666. And Anna will be back with us.
That'll be a fun episode.
And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be good celebration. So
Also, hopefully by then, Andrew also watches Back and Forth, and we can talk about
yes,
that
Foo
too.
Fighters Back and Forth. Great documentary.
it's a
Highly
really
recommended.
great-
Essential viewing if
It
you have an
also
opportunity.
Has a big
listeners
connection to Studio 666 that
Yeah.
I didn't realize until I'd seen Back and Forth, and then I was like, oh wait, the whole premise of Studio 666 makes so much more sense when you've seen Back and Forth. So
sure.
definitely watch Back and Forth. It's excellent, and yeah, it's just it's a great documentary anyway, but it's also just such a fun kind of look inside this band and this friendship, these friends, this group of friends, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yep. So look forward to what we have on tap. Turning Red, Studio 666, and who knows what lies beyond that. But it doesn't matter. You got 2 great episodes to look forward to. Hopefully everyone enjoyed our Oscars coverage.
And hopefully the next one isn't Morbius.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Laters on the Menjay.
Fuck you, 2-time Academy Award winning composer Hans Zimmer.